Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Let's give the Islington Culture Club a warm round of applause, a rousing one indeed. Well done indeed. Good afternoon once more, and welcome to the 8th staging of the Jamaica Customs Agency's Customs Meets the Community, or parish engagement, being held in the capital of Port Maria, St. Mary. I'm not Sean Barrow. He will be joining us shortly, but I'm just standing in until such time. Let me take this opportunity to warmly welcome the people of St. Mary to this town hall session. Come on, a round of applause. Welcome to you all. And at this time, let me just issue a special welcome to some of our specially invited guests, starting, of course, with Councillor Jermaine Smiley of the Port Maria Division, representing His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Richard Creary. Councillor Smiley? All right. Okay. Dr. Maurice Guy, Member of Parliament for St. Mary Central. The Very Reverend Canon Charles Mandison, President of Port Maria Ministers Fraternal. Our own Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Alwyn Nicely, representing our Commissioner, Mrs. Velma Ricketts Walker. Deputy Commissioner of Operations, Mr. Marlon Lowe. Our Senior Directors, Mrs. Patricia Wigan Chambers, Chandelaine Davis, Andre Williams. Our Directors, Sir Albert Anderson, Kevin Carter, somewhere around, and of course our managers and supervisors and staff. Also, a special welcome to the Parish Manager for the Social Development Commission, Mr. Shawin Reynolds and his team. Sir Reynolds. Thank you, sir. To the representatives from the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, Mr. Anthony McKenzie. Of course, along with him, we have Olivia Anderson, Shari Miller, and Travis Bartley. Welcome. Also from the plant quarantine, we have Mrs. Karen Barrett Christie, Ms. Monique Solomon, and Mr. Patrick Johnson. Please make them welcome. And from the Pesticides Control Authority, Mr. Hugh Ho Young and Mr. Jermaine Parkinson. Welcome also to our panelists and presenters, Mr. Kingsley Henry and Sir Damien Beckford. Do I say a special welcome to them, along with our JCA resource team, Mr. Kirk Hansen, this is Antoinette Whiteley-Scott, and Alicia Rose Solomon. Of course, they are joined by Mr. Anthony McKenzie, Director of the Environmental Management and Conservation from NEPA, as well as Mr. Hugh Ho Young, Senior Inspector from the PCA, and Mrs. Karen Brissett, entomologist, also from the plant quarantine. Or specially invited guests from the public and private sectors, schools and churches across the parish, political directorate, the business community, under various community-based organizations, including the citizens associations. Please give them a very warm welcome. Welcome is also in order for persons with disabilities and or sign language interpreter, of course, Stephanie McIntyre Groves. To the members of the media, GIS, RJR 94 FM, and Wave 90 FM. To our online viewers watching from across Jamaica and indeed the world on the GIS's online platforms, let's give them a warm welcome as well. And to all participants, performers, and staff of the Jamaica Customs Agency, welcome, welcome, welcome. We will start the proceedings by inviting the Very Reverend Canon Charles Mandison to come and at this time give the opening prayer.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are happy for this opportunity to invoke God's presence on this gathering and His blessings upon our lives as we share together in this function and as we work together for the good of the people of Jamaica. I just want to share with you a short reading from God's Word. 1 Peter chapter 2, reading from verse 11. 1 Peter chapter 2, reading from verse 11. Beloved, I urge you as aliens and exiles to abstain from the desires of the flesh that wage war against the soul. Conduct yourselves honorably among the Gentiles, so that though they malign you as evildoers, they may see your honorable deeds and glorify God when He comes to judge. For the Lord's sake, accept the authority of every institution, whether of the emperor as supreme or of governors as sent by him, to punish those who do wrong and to praise those who do right. For it is God's will that by doing right you should silence the ignorance of the foolish. As servants of God, live as free people. Yet do not use your freedom as a pretext for evil. Honor everyone. Love the family of believers. Fear God and honor the emperor. The word of the Lord. Let us pray. Lord, this is the day that you have made, and we have come together to rejoice and to be glad in it. We give you thanks, O God, for the gift of this day, for health and strength, for life, for every opportunity, Lord, that you have provided for us, your people, in this new day. We thank you in a special way for the opportunity of coming together in your name as a people. And Lord, we realize that there is great potential, great possibility when we come together in love and unity and peace. For you have said in your own words that where 2 or 3 are gathered together, that you are ever present in their midst. We thank you, O God, that as we come together, that you are always willing and ready to come among us, your people, and to manifest your presence in our midst. We thank you, O God, that it was while your servants were together in one place that the risen Christ appeared in their midst and brought peace and blessings to their lives. We thank you, O God, that it was when your people were gathered together in one place, in one accord, that the Holy Spirit came upon them like a rushing mighty wind and came upon them with tongues of fire. And so, Lord, we call your presence to this gathering this afternoon as we have come together, O God, as your people, seeking, O God, to build relationships, to work together. We come, oh God, to cooperate, to build a better as we go forward as a people. We give you thanks, oh God, for the Jamaica Customs Service and for the service it has provided for your people over these years. We give you thanks, oh God, that you have placed it within their hearts to come to the people, to move to your people, oh God, to foster a deeper understanding, more knowledge, better cooperation, oh God, for the good and well-being of the organization and also for the improvement of the lives of your people. And so, Lord, we ask you to manifest yourself in a special way in our midst this afternoon. We pray that your Holy Spirit will move among us as he moved among your apostles, your people, Lord, that you will instill within us, oh God, the gifts of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. May you bring peace and love and unity among us. That we pray that through this gathering, Lord, that you will foster among your people a spirit of cooperation. That together, oh God, we will aspire to build a better Jamaica. We will aspire, oh God, to create a better future for our people. And as we call you to this gathering, oh God, we pray that through your Holy Spirit that you will inspire us in every way, oh God. That all the presentations and all that we will share, we pray, oh God, you will give us clarity of hearts and minds. That everything, oh God, will be well received and will be done to your honor and glory. We pray that through this gathering, oh God, you will inspire us to serve, to recognize, oh God, that we serve you by serving each other. And to recognize that all of us, oh God, are created in your own image and in your own likeness. And all of us deserve, oh God, respect and love and honor. And to be treated in a way, oh God, that affirms our worth and value. And so as we come together, oh God, to serve each other, especially in this function, we pray, oh God, that you will teach us to serve you as you deserve, to give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wounds, to toil and not to seek for rest, to labor and not to ask for any reward, save that of knowing that we do your will. And we pray, oh God, that you will continue to make us instruments of your peace, that wherever there is hatred, oh God, that we will show love. Wherever there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, give us faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in dying that we are born to eternal life. And this we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much, the very Reverend Canon Charles Mandison, President of the Port Maria Ministers Fraternal. I thank Mr. Carlos Henry for standing in the gap for me, being the ram caught in the thicket. At times you send in a batsman to bat first and you realize it is not a good batsman. Not true. Them out him quick, don't. So the best batsman must keep the crease, right? Not true. Especially, you don't agree? Yes, especially if he went to Kingston College. You see? Should have gone to St. Jago, all right? let me acknowledge the presence of one of our senior directors who was not acknowledged, Mrs. Kate Bertram. She is the senior director in charge of finance and administration. Please stand, Ms. Bertram, and let the audience see you. Also, the media station, it's Waves 96.3 FM and not Wave 90 FM, all right? So it's Waves 96.3 FM. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol having been observed, I, at this time, like to say, just to welcome you, as you welcome us, the Jamaica Customs Agency, to the beautiful parish of St. Mary. I did not have any idea that, that St. Mary was such a very nice parish. I enjoyed the scenery coming here. It's a nice parish. The Member of Parliament, Mr. Maurice Guy, is here. Yes, I see, sir, you've got a very good parish to represent. Right? Am I treat you no good? Now is the time to talk, you know. No, you can't do nothing today. Talk now. Am I treat you no good? Lord Jesus, the no's sound more than the yeses. Not true. So, Dr. Guy, you have work to do, all right? So, you will hear more from him when he comes up later. At this time, we'll be taking remarks from the tallest man in the building. He is Mr. Alwyn Nice, the Deputy Commissioner of Customs in charge of Border Protection. And he's representing Mrs. Velma Ricketts Walker, our Commissioner of Customs, who is unavoidably absent as she's traveling on official business. Please make him welcome at this time. Mr. Alwyn Nicely. I gather he's a St. Mary man as well, isn't he? Mr. Nicely, which part in St. Mary are you from?
Have a good day, Sean. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. So I'm here in my official capacity, but before I go to the written text, I'm going to now speak in my personal capacity for about 30 seconds. So I heard Sean mention a while ago how beautiful St. Mary is. You can know when people not coming from nowhere good, you know. You can know when them not come from nowhere good. Welcome to St. Mary, sir. So I'll simply say this. There's a place above Highgate called Cromwell Land. Anybody familiar with it? Note my surname nicely. That's the root and seat of the family. Good? So, on behalf of all of St. Mary, welcome Customs onto official business now. I would like to take this opportunity to greet you all on behalf of the CEO, our Commissioner of Customs, Mrs. Velma Ricketts Walker, who is unavoidably absent. And due to technology, she'll be able to join us via remote feed very shortly. I'd like to give special welcome to Councillor for the Port Maria Division, Mr. Jermaine Smiley, representing His Worship, the Mayor, Councillor Richard Creary, Dr. Maurice Guy, Member of Parliament for St. Mary Central, the Very Reverend Canon Charles Manderson, President of the Port Maria Ministers Fraternal. Thank you very much, sir. Parish Manager for the SDC, Mr. Reynolds and his team. Our specially invited guests from the public and private sectors, our representatives from civil society, and you, the people of St. Mary, who have so graciously welcomed us this afternoon. Thank you very much. As an agency, we stand firmly by our motto, country above self, and are guided by the core values, which are customer centricity, accountability, professionalism, integrity, and transparency. As we remain committed to our mandates of facilitating trade, protecting Jamaica's borders, and collecting revenue on behalf of the government of Jamaica. Now, you see those core values that I mentioned a while ago? They're going to become more relevant later because Sean is going to quiz you on them. I'll repeat for you and write it down so you can win a prize. Customer centricity, accountability, professionalism, integrity, and transparency. The Jamaica Customs Agency recognizes that strong partnerships with our stakeholders through public education and other awareness-building initiatives can have a transformational impact on compliance. It is against this background that we are here with you this afternoon under the theme, reaching our customers where they are. I was having a discussion with the Reverend earlier, and he was saying the level of interaction that the people of St. Mary have with customs, mentioning how often people come into Kingston to clear barrels and so on. What we're trying to do now is actually to come to you guys. We want to hear from you in your own space, in your own time. We want to hear what your concerns are. So we have gone around the country, and now it's St. Mary time. I'll continue. The customs team has so far been to 7 towns across Jamaica, including Portmore and St. Catherine. They've been to Santa Cruz, Spanish Town, Port Antonio, Ocho Rios, down to Savannah Lamar, and Maypen in Clarendon. Customs meets the community, allows the agency to more effectively inform, to educate, and increase the awareness of our customers with regards to our customs policies and procedures and other related matters. We take a collaborative approach, working with other border regulatory agencies to participate in these sessions. So here today in St. Mary, we are joined by the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, the Plant Quarantine Unit, and the Pesticides Control Authority. Jamaica Customs has created a program today, especially for the residents of Port Maria. We will discuss topics that are beneficial to you, our stakeholders, even as we give useful and general information on customs-related matters. Over the years, as an agency, I don't think that we have paid attention to our image, enough attention to our image. So today, the JCA is seeking to improve our image, which also means that we have to find new ways of reaching you. Remember, this agency is almost nothing without you. Therefore, over the course of today, the JCA is seeking to, firstly, engender a better relationship with you, our valid customers. Secondly, to provide information on customs-related matters. And thirdly, we want to hear from you, to allow you to ask your questions and hear your concerns. So, please feel free to talk to us. Please also complete the feedback forms that the persons dressed in those peach-colored shirts will be handing out closer to the end. And you can also go online, and our website address is www.jacustoms.gov.jm. And you can also give feedback there. The information you provide is treated seriously, I can tell you that, both from an operational and a policy perspective. We have also provided special follow-up cards for this engagement session. This will allow our customer service reps, as I mentioned before, dressed in peach, to follow up with you. We also have a special resource area within our customs display area on the outside that will allow us to resolve your concerns related to our customs automated system. Providing improved customer service is high on our agenda as we continue to institute mechanisms that will enhance our service delivery. After this session here in St. Mary, we expect that you will have a better understanding about the overall functions of the Jamaica Customs Agency and that of our border regulatory agencies. As we move forward, the Jamaica Customs Agency will continue to intensify its public education thrust through this and some other initiatives we have planned, with the objective achieving greater compliance and a level of customer service that is superior in the public service. So here today, 1, we are here to listen to you, and 2, we are here to serve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nicely, or Deputy Commissioner in charge of Border Protection. Where in St. Mary did he say he was from again? Comawa? Comaland? Oh, Cromwell. Cromwell Land. I forced me to hear about that place there. I must say, him alone did live there. I've never heard about Cromwell Land. I've heard about Galena and Gale and Richmond and Port Maria. Never heard about Cromwell Land. It's a good thing that Kingston was there to rescue him so that he could find fame and fortune. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we take greetings from Councillor Jermaine Smiley. But before he comes, all right, let me go to Councillor Smiley. Councillor Jermaine Smiley, Port Maria Division. He's coming on behalf of His Worship, the Mayor, Councillor Richard Query, JP. Put your hands together and make Councillor Smiley welcome.
From the tallest man in the room to maybe the shortest person in the room. Mr. Moderator, my MP, Dr. Maurice Guy, my CEO at the St. Mary Municipal Corporation, Ms. Ethelyn Douglas, I see members of the police, ladies and gentlemen, the Jamaica Custom Department, of course, SDC, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. Come on, man. Give me a Portmore good afternoon. Good afternoon. I feel like the custom department jiggle at that one because they didn't get the Portmore afternoon. Good afternoon. Right. On behalf, I stand vicariously for His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Richard Query, Councillor for the Richmond Division, who is unable to be here this afternoon with you. But on behalf of the Mayor and the St. Mary Municipal Corporation, we welcome the Custom Agency of Jamaica to St. Mary. We welcome you all to our lovely parish. I hear somebody make mention earlier about the scenery. Our scenery here is second to none. Persons who come here oftentimes find reasons to reside here because our scenery and ambience, hospitality is second to none. Today we have the Customs Department with us. And oftentimes we here in St. Mary and Port Maria have reasons to do business with the Customs Department. Even ourselves at the Municipal Corporation, from time to time, we do quite a bit of business with the Customs Department. We have to journey to Kingston to and fro, sometimes a day or two, maybe more, to get your business done. I charge the department this afternoon because we here on this side of the parish, especially going back to the western side into the center end, Kingston sometimes is a bit off for us. I would love for your department to look into ways of how you can make your department more accessible to our people of this side. We at the St. Mary Municipal Corporation, as councillors, there are times when we have to give advice to even the people that we serve, because they'll come to us and ask us advice as, how do you get this done through customs? Councillor, how can this be done? Councillor, how can that assist me with getting this done? Me, myself, sometimes have to go and seek advice and get back to my constituents. And these are challenges that we face from time to time, representing the people who we serve. Today, I ask of the Customs Department, upon completion of today's event, I trust that the issues of our people be dealt with, because what you're going to leave us with is that we may have to find the questions that were asked, the answers to the question that we're going to ask today that is not answered, are not acted upon. the operations and functions of the respective agencies across the length and breadth of our parish. Oftentimes, would share in our municipal corporations, in our meetings. And to have your office being more accessible to us here, I'm sure it would assist us in reaching out to the people in a more in-depth way. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you much. Oh my God, that was a mess.
Thank you so much, Councillor Smiley, as you represented Councillor Richard Query. And at times, Councillor, we have to take sleep and mark death. Not true. Them no want to tell you good afternoon. That means something is wrong. Either you not treat the people them good or something. Why do not tell the councillor good afternoon? Tell him a good afternoon now. Something is wrong. Not true. What's happening? You're not seeing him. Councillor? All right, you have to make yourself more available. Let me welcome Mrs. Ethelyn Douglas. Mrs. Douglas, please stand and be acknowledged. She is the CEO of the St. Mary Municipal Corporation. Where is she? I did not see her. Oh, yes, nice. Now she's looking nice, right? There you go. Thank you so much, Mrs. Douglas, for coming. At this time, we take greetings from Dr. Maurice Guy. He is the Member of Parliament for St. Mary Central. Please put your hands together and make him welcome.
Mr. Moderator, Deputy Commissioners Nicely and Low, and your team from the Jamaica Customs Agency, our stakeholders here, Councillor Smiley, Mr. Reynolds from the Social Development Commission, ladies and gentlemen of Port Maria and surrounding areas, good afternoon. I want to assure the moderator that when he asked the question if I was doing well, doing good, Councillor Smiley was my biggest supporter. And we wear two different colors. And also to advise him where history fails him is that Cromwell Land was named after Oliver Cromwell. So you need to go back to find a little about the history of Cromwell Land. Having dispensed with that, however, I'd like on your behalf to welcome the Jamaica Customs Agency to Port Maria and indeed to the Anglican Church Hall hosted by the Very Reverend Charles Mandison. I had the occasion earlier on when I arrived to speak to the media outside, and I said to them, I think it's so a fitting occasion that Customs is here today in a community meeting. And I quit by saying, obviously they don't realize that St. Mary people take barrel from abroad too. Because, as was said by Councillor Smiley, sometimes we have no appreciation of what Customs does, of what we need to do to ensure that our processes are dealt with in a timely manner. And the fact that you're here today, Mr. Nicely, and your team is commendable, that one of the state's organizations, which is integral in the development of the country, is here to meet the community. I also mentioned outside that had Customs been around in the way it was, St. Mary would have been one of their biggest contributors then. In the early days when we had 3 ports in the parish, we used to export banana from Anata Bay, Port Maria here, and Aracabessa. And now the recently have established a little base in Aracabessa is an indication possibly of more things to come. But the truth is that St. Mary is its economic basis in agriculture. And many of our farmers are involved in agricultural export of the produce. And the fact that Customs is here this afternoon to give us a better understanding of some of these processes is important. And hence, I want to welcome you again and to commend this effort on their behalf. When we look around the hall here, if I should ask for the number of hands who import something once a year, even Christmas, and you know that round, brown thing that I'm talking about, Sharon. I know the last time you went abroad, you carried back about 3 from China, right? But once a year, even at Christmas time, that barrel comes. And we travel into Kingston to get it, and sometimes the complaint is a long time waiting to get it. But coming here today, I'm sure that at the end of today's proceedings, that we'll have a better appreciation of what we need to do and how we need to do it. So, as Member of Parliament, and as the Member of Parliament for this particular area, I want to welcome Jamaica Customs Agency and to say to you, the people of St. Mary stand very ready to work with you to ensure that not only you do what is desired of you, but that together we contribute to the development of this wonderful country called Jamaica. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maurice Guy. Now, they say must choose the battles to fight, right? So I noticed you never give Councillor Smiley too many claps. I mean, notice how it was a rounding applause for MP. So I don't want you to come beat me at St. Mary. I can't go back home, so I but that's what I go say. Talk? Me have bucketive? All over the back, me stand up. The women to the rescue. All right. So we're enjoying St. Mary, a beautiful parish, a parish that has produced people of world renown. Not true? Who you call the fireman? Who? Yes. And which world-renowned English author and journalist who carried out work here in St. Mary? What's his name? Coward? What Coward? What name? Noel Coward. An airport was named after him. Ian Fleming. Yes, Ian Fleming, right. Not Noel Coward, MP. James Bond was born here? Oh. I hear somebody in the front said James Bond was born. Which sociologist and social activist was born in Woodside comes from St. Mary? Dr. who? Myrna Broadbent. Erna, right, good. And which famous comedian? Oliver's boy, no bright man. Look like them handpicked if you come here. All the bright people they here. Nice, nice. And which beauty queen came from St. Mary? The one who went last time. What's your name? Oh, no, the beauty queen. What's your name? Why? Oh, no, bright. We think it bright. And she, What's her name? Tell me. Shakira? Shakira what? Akira. What did Akira win? Miss St. Mary? Well, the one who won the Miss World crown. Who was that? Lisa Hanna. I never know where St. Mary Lisa come from. Born in St. Mary. Yeah, man. Right, so boy, St. Mary has a lot of history. I want to produce enough world-renowned people. It look like a St. Mary should have come from. But one thing though, you know them said they are St. Mary enough? Guess. Guess, man. They say if you want visa embassy. They say if you want visa embassy, St. Mary if you go first. That and banana. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the Jamaica Customs Agency's choir is coming to entertain us. Sit back and relax because you will be feted. You'll be treated to world-class entertainment. Put your hands together and make them welcome.
Mic check, mic check.
Say Domino, Domino.
Play domino.
Say Domino, Domino.
Play domino.
We play some domino now.
Play domino.
We play some domino now.
Play domino.
Say Domino, Domino.
Play domino.
Say Domino, Domino.
Play domino.
We play some domino now.
Play domino.
Make we play domino now.
Play domino.
Say domino, domino.
Play domino.
Domino, domino.
Play domino.
Me a go post me double six now.
Play domino.
Me a go play 6-5 now.
Play domino.
We are gonna play 3-2.
Huh? Me say, are you good the game now?
Play domino.
Yes, are you good the game now?
Play domino.
Say domino, domino.
Play domino.
Domino, domino.
Play domino.
Me a go post me double six now.
Play domino.
Me a go play 6-5 now.
Play domino.
We are gonna play 5-4 now.
Play domino.
We are gonna play 4-2 now.
Play domino.
Say domino, domino.
Play domino.
Domino, domino.
Play domino.
Me a go play deuce S now.
Play domino.
Me a go play S blank now.
Play domino.
Me pass.
Play domino.
Me pass too.
Play domino.
Say this a key domino.
Play domino.
This a key domino.
Play domino.
Hey. Domino, domino, domino. Play domino. L is for the way you look at me, and O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore, and love is all that I can do to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it. Love was made for me and you.
Is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one.
The one I see. B is very, very
Extraordinary.
even
More
more.
than anyone that you adore, and love is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game.
Just a game for two. Two
Love
can make it.
Take my heart and please don't break it.
Love was made for me and you. Love was made for me and you.
I hear you calling for more. Not true? You want some more entertainment? Yes, man. You have to call for good entertainment when you see it. Put your hands together yet again for the Jamaica Customs Agency's choir. At this time, we're going into our 25-minute presentation. That will be done by Mr. Kingsley Henry. He is the Director for Cargo Imaging at the Jamaica Customs Agency, the Border Protection Unit, and he will be presenting on restricted and prohibited goods and scanning and examination. We never say scamming, you know. Scanning and examination. Immediately after his presentation, we will have a 15-minute question and answer segment, followed by entertainment again from the Jamaica Customs Agency. Put your hands together and make Mr. Kingsley Henry welcome.
Good afternoon, St. Mary. I am concerned, because only when people are upset with customs, they don't clap and they don't say good afternoon, and I'm wondering what is happening. How many persons are upset with customs? Well, that's a handful. So it means that if the rest of you are not upset with customs, you're getting there. Or you've never been there. They have never been there. So you hear that? The reason why you're not upset with customs is because you have never been to customs. So guess what? Sean said that I'm here to present on some things, but I kind of got a different memo, right? And my memo tells that I'm presenting on generally to give you an understanding of why we do some of the things that we do at customs. Because we are having these type of community engagement because we believe what? If we tell you more about what we do and why we do what we do, then some of the people who are angry at us today, at the end of the day, I'm hoping that when I say who is still hungry, that the hands will not go up, right? Because information is supposed to help us to have a better understanding and a better relationship. So that's my job today, to kind of take you into the basics of why we do what we do at customs. But Sean said something earlier about St. Mary that I don't know if you saw it go. That if you want visa, you need to come to St. Mary. So if that is true, no, I'm going to test it. If that is true, let me see the hands of everybody who have a visa. You see? So Sean, that theory can't be correct. Because if that was true, then almost everybody in here would have put up them hand, right? So, nothing no go so. So, nothing no go so, all right? All right, technical difficulty. Where is the equipment located? All right, so whether it work or not, I'm going to ask one of the technical persons to change the slides for me, since the pointer is not, okay, it's working now. All right, great. So what are my objectives? I want to help you to understand why we do one of the most probably contentious thing that we do. Let me see the hands of those who have ever traveled or clear a barrel or any shipment at the post office, parcels or anything. Only 10 persons? All right, so most of us have either traveled, gotten a barrel, a box, or a parcel at the post office. And when you have traveled, you would have seen and come through customs at the airport, and you'd have seen the customs officer, what you would have called dig up. When you go to the wharf to clear your barrel or to the airport to clear a package, the officer dig up. That is what you call it. We call it, the nice word that we use is to inspect. But dig up, you call it dig up, right? So my job today is to help you to understand why is it that we do inspections? What is it that we inspect? Where do we conduct these inspections? And how do we do them? And at the end of the day, when we have done the inspections, what are some of the possible outcomes? But Mr. Nicely mentioned it earlier, that Jamaica Customs have some very clear missions. Anybody remember what the mission of the Jamaica Customs is or are? There are 3 things that Jamaica Customs is mandated to do by law. Anybody remember any of them? Not the dig up. The dig up is not a mandate. So we do the inspection because we are trying to accomplish something else that the law said that we need to accomplish. And collect revenue, right? Border protection is the other one. And one that wasn't mentioned is not antagonizing you. One that wasn't mentioned is trade facilitation. So there are 3 things, or Mr. Nicely did mention it. So there are 3 things that we are mandated by law to do. To collect revenue, to protect the borders, and to facilitate trade. The one that most people think that we do is collect revenue. And so hopefully at the end of the presentation today, I'll help you to understand that we are a little more than that. Can you change the slides for me, please? We can move on to the other one. So, revenue. Let's deal with the one that most people are familiar with. We collect revenue. That is a fact of life. But why do we collect revenue? Not just because the law says that we collect revenue, right? How many of you have kids that go to school? How many of you have kids that go to school? If you have kids that go to school or grandkids or you have been to school yourself, have you ever been to the hospital? Do you have a police station? Do you have a working fire unit in Port Maria? Do you drive on, hopefully, roads that are not so bad? Hopefully, right? But if you do any of those things, then guess what? It takes revenue to make all those things happen. And so the Jamaica Customs Agency has the privilege of being the second highest collector of revenue for the government of Jamaica. So we're not going to get into the debate about whether the revenue is being used correctly or not. The fact is, if you live in Jamaica, some way, shape, or form in your daily life, you benefit from the revenue that is being collected by Jamaica Customs and other agencies within the government of Jamaica that collect revenue, right? But to collect revenue, we have to do something. We go back to the same word. We have to do inspections, right? We have to do inspections. And we do inspections on imports. And Dr. Guy mentioned it earlier about when you used to export a lot of bananas. We do inspections on exports. We do inspections on cargo and things that are passing through Jamaica, but they're not staying in Jamaica. So they come to Jamaica and they're moving on to other countries, which we call transshipment. So we do inspections on those as well. Next slide. So we collect a whole heap of taxes. Whole heap. But I can tell you a secret, that most of those taxes that we collect are not taxes for Jamaica Customs. They're not customs duties. So there's the first one there that we collect that is import duties. That is a tax that is related to the activities that customs is mandated to carry out. But there are others that we collect on behalf of Tax Administration Jamaica and the Stamp Office. So if you look up there, it's a GCT, Special Consumption Tax, Additional Stamp Duty. We collect environmental levy, a whole heap of taxes, right? But all of those we're collecting on behalf of other entities. Because guess what? We have a unique position. And the unique position is that the law says that we are the ones that are at the borders, and we are the ones that are mandated by law to inspect goods that are coming in or going out of the country. So all these entities ask us to collect these taxes and these fees on their behalf. So when you come to customs and you're upset with customs sometimes, we are just performing a function on behalf of other entities of government that don't have a presence at the airport, or don't have a presence down at the wharf, or don't have a presence at the post office. Next slide. So when we collect duty, one of the biggest things that people don't understand, how we calculate the duties. When you come at customs and they charge you one whole for the TV, and somebody send me a phone, one phone, and the phone costs $50, and they charge you one whole heap of money. My auntie send one shoes to the picnic, go back to school, and they charge me one whole heap of money upon the shoes. And people think that sometimes, how is it that we come up with what we decide? How we decide if we're charging you 20% or 40% or 15%? How is it that we decide that? Well, we have a very, let me call it a very big book. Back in the days, it was book, but with the advancement of technology, it is available in soft copy, and it's on the internet, and it's on the computer. But we have a list of what we call the Harmonized Commodity Description and Coding System. We call it the tariff or HS code. Over 5,000 commodities. So anything that is traded anywhere in the world falls into this big book. And so we refer to this big book. So when you're coming in with the shoes, there's a section in the big book that tells us that this is the rate of duty, 20%, that applies to shoes. If it's a motor car, it tells us the rate of duty that applies to the motor car. So I'm telling you this to say that the officer at the airport in Kingston and the officer at the airport in Mobay or the one at the wharf is not making up something out of their head about how much the rate is. The rate is determined already and set out in what we call the tariff, right? So the rate provides the basis of how we do the calculations, right? Next. So we know what the rate is because we identify the item and we refer to the tariff and the tariff tells us the rate. So the next thing that you want to know, so we know it's 20% we're going to charge you for import duties, and then we're going to charge you GCT and some of the other taxes and the other fees. But what value are we using? You'll hear customs talk about it all the time. Cost, insurance, and freight, CIF. So you paid, you ship the TV. The TV costs you $100. But customs on the receipt, you see that customs is calculating some things. Because guess what? Even though $100 you buy the TV for, you spend $10 to ship it to Jamaica. So customs adds the $10 to the $100. And because we need to figure out an insurance, we have to calculate an insurance. If you ship it by air, it's 1% of the 110. If you ship it by sea, it's 1.5%. So we find the 1.5% of the 110. You're not paying that, but we add that back to the 110, and then we start calculating import duty. After import duty is calculated, we add the import duty back, and we calculate the GCT, and we go on and on and on. But when anything is sent into the island, the cost, the shipping charge, and an insurance charge that is calculated provides the basis on how we calculate duties. So when you say, boy, I ship this up, man, it's only 100 I pay for it. Yeah, but you spend 200 to ship it to Jamaica. And we have to consider that money that you sent to ship it to Jamaica. Next. So that is revenue. But revenue is a reality. That's what we do. But there are other things that we do, and an important side of customs, and Dr. Guy would have mentioned it earlier. We are now partnering with the Jamaica Constabulary Force to open a marine base at Rockabessa. That has been constructed, and we expect that to be commissioned in the coming months. That is partnership. Why are we doing that? That's not for revenue. We don't expect to collect any revenue out by Rockabessa. But we have a border protection duty. As the agency that has the primary responsibility to protect the border, that is something that we take seriously. So why do we need to protect the border? Is there anything that you need to be protected from in Jamaica? Is there anything that is coming from foreign that you think you need to be protected from? What? Somebody say guns. What else? Drugs. What else? What's that? People, unauthorized vessels, weapons of mass destruction, viruses. And that is a serious thing. So as an agricultural parish, let's take it to St. Mary. So people who are coming in all the time have an issue when we confiscate on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture. We confiscate the fruits. And they're saying it's one apple, it's one onion, it's one this. Why do we do that? We do that because these things can have pests that can be detrimental to our local agricultural industry. So unless you have a permit, you can't bring it. So that is not a revenue function that we are doing. We are performing a border protection function, protecting your health and safety and the health and safety of Jamaican industry. So we do that. But the law empowers us to do that. So the Customs Act says that every customs officer has the same rights, the same privileges, and the same powers as a police constable. And that is important. And I'm going to tell you why that is important. Because it comes to some of the function that we do in border protection, and the law gives us the power and the authority to do that. Next. So, you were naming some of the major threats. See them up there? One of the major ones that has been in the news in recent times is what we call IPR infringed goods. So the counterfeit shoes, the counterfeit clothing, and people might think that that is no harm, but there's counterfeit medicine, right? A lot of pharmaceutical is counterfeit, and they are counterfeit many other things. In the news recently as well, you'd have talked about plastic rice. So there is food that is counterfeit too. And so our job, as difficult as it is to try our best on the border every day to protect you. So another threat is monetary instruments. Why would money be a threat? Why would money be a threat? What people can use illegal money to buy? Guns, right? And drugs and other things. And so therefore we are concerned about the illegal movement of cash across the Jamaican borders as well. And that is something that we have to look out for as customs officers on the front line every day. You'd be surprised. Next slide, please. So agency function. So there are many, and I was saying to you earlier, there are many entities in government. So the Ministry of Health, so when we're looking at pharmaceuticals on the border, we're not doing it for our sake. We're doing it on behalf of the Ministry of Health, which is what we call agency function. So we're doing function on behalf of other agencies. We do function on behalf of the Ministry of National Security. So when we're looking for firearms and ammunition, and we're looking for drugs that is being exported or imported into Jamaica, we are doing that on behalf of the Ministry of National Security, another agency function. We do function on behalf of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture, and Fishery to ensure that people have the permit. So when you bring in the meat and you come at Christmas time, you go up and you bring in the ham. So you get a look at ham fire and you're bringing it down. And you can't understand why the customs officer for hold on and you look at ham. Why? The reason why we do it is because the Ministry of Agriculture says that you need a permit. And so we hold on to it and they'll give you a receipt that we call a detention notice. And we say, go to the Ministry of Agriculture, get the permit. Many times the Ministry of Agriculture will have somebody working whether at the seaport in the warehouse or they'll have somebody at the airport. So we're able to consult with them in real time. But if not, we give you a receipt and say, go to them. If they say it's okay, you come back to customs. Customs has no choice but to give it to you. All right? We perform function on behalf of the Ministry of Transport. So any regulations relating to motor vehicles and cars and trucks and stuff, we perform that function on the border on behalf of the Ministry of Transport. And we do work on behalf of the Ministry of Tourism. Most of the ministries, departments, and agencies of government, we perform functions on their behalf. Next slide. And these are pesticide control authorities here as well. And we perform function on their behalf of the Bureau of Standards, on behalf of NEPA, Coconut Industry Board, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Next slide. So what do we inspect? So we inspect the actual means of conveyance, so meaning the ship that is bringing the goods into Jamaica. We do inspections on the ships. We do inspections on the aircraft. We do inspection on people. Remember I said earlier that the Customs Act gives us the same power, rights, and privileges as a constable. And one of the things that a constable is allowed to do under certain conditions is to search the person. So the customs officer has the same rights and privilege to search. But one of the things I normally say in these engagements, that's not the first thing that the customs officer is going to do. You have to go through several steps to get there. So the customs officer would have done an interview, would have looked at your documents, would have checked the other bags and things that you're carrying, and would have observed something on your person, or would have had some intelligence that says that you're carrying something on your person that requires the officer to do a physical search, with the condition that it is done in private, with the condition that you can ask for a senior person to intervene or justice of the peace to be present, etc., etc. But that is something that we do. We do check people as well. So what do we inspect? If you travel and you come to Jamaica, you're coming through the airport. I'll tell you, when I started customs almost 15 years ago, right? almost every single bag that was coming to the airport, we would check. When you travel now, the majority of passengers that are coming to the airport, including Jamaicans who are traveled and who are returning home, your bags are not being checked. Not being checked. Why? Because we have developed our skills and expertise to the point where we can determine where the highest risk lies. And the fact is you can't check everybody, so we have ways and means of determining that my friend here is a higher risk than my friend over there. And so therefore we'll subject my friend who is a higher risk to a different level of inspection, a different level of interview, etc. That is how it works. So we check passenger bags. The ladies in particular have an issue when the officer, and you'll hear it on the talk shows and you see it on the internet. I come through the airport and the officer dig up my bag and I have my private business in my bag. The reality is that the customs officer has a duty to check your bags. And I'll say it, that an officer may decide that the only piece that he wants to see or she wants to see is your handbag, because you're satisfied that your suitcase don't have nothing of importance in there and your bag might have something of importance. Another officer might decide that I'll check your other 2 bags and I have no interest in your handbag. Or I check the other 2 bags or 3 bags and based on what I see, I want to know what is in the handbag. So the aim is not to invade your privacy. The aim is to carry out the border protection function that we have and to do it in a dignified manner and with as much courtesy as is possible. That is the aim. So we check barrels and crates and boxes, containers, motor vehicles. The other one that you might find interesting, I don't know if you ever had a situation, somebody sending something to the post office, and you get a slip says that customs held on to it. A lot of people don't know. So the things that are coming to the post office are subjected to customs inspection as well. And we have to do that because people are ingenious. People send firearms, people send ammunition, people send drugs and other things through the mail. And so we have to perform our border protection function at the post office as well. Next. So where do we do our inspections? Customs are all over, you know. So customs are at the airport. Even your airport. What is your airport? Which airport is your airport? Which airport is your airport? Which one is? Thank you. That is the St. Mary airport, not the one where you travel through. The one where you own the St. Mary. Right, your own. Customs is there as we speak, yes. Customs officer, immigration officers work at that airport. So we are at the airports. We are at the warehouses that you get your barrels. We are at the seaport where the containers and the cars and stuff come in. We are at, how many of you are familiar with the bauxite pier, Noranda? We are there. We're at all of the bauxite piers. We are at the private wharves, the flour mill wharves. The one in Trelawney is which one? The Tanquil, Rio Bueno wharf. We are there. We're at the cruise ship terminals. So customs footprint is all over the place. And we have told you already that we will be at the marine base in Aracabessa. And customs has, I think, 2 more marine bases to be established with the JCF in the coming months and into next year. Next. So how do we do our inspections quickly before I get the time signal? So the first thing that we're interested in at customs is not to, what's the word we use, dig up. That's not the first thing. It's not the first. The dig up, believe it or not, the dig up is the last thing. I'm not saying I'm too convinced, but it is. It is. It is the last thing. The first thing that we're interested in is documentation. So if you're a commercial importer, we are interested in your declaration and your invoices and your shipping document. If you're a private person bringing in the barrel, we are interested in the shipping document. We are interested in your declaration as well. So it depends on your passenger traveling. We're interested in the customs immigration card that you fill out. Based on what we see on the document, how detailed you are, how accurate information appear to be, it determines the next level of inspection. There are many importers in Jamaica today who, when they submit their documentation to customs, and customs go through it, and customs is satisfied because we'd have done some check and some investigations on the importer and determine their level of risk, that they can submit documentation and their goods are mostly not subjected to physical inspection. So, document inspection is what we do first. After that, if you are a passenger, an interview. So we want to know, so we ask you, for example, how much money did you spend? We're not intending to embarrass or to get into your business, but it is important. Why is it important? Because the law says as a passenger who is traveling, you're entitled to US $500 duty-free allowance. If you think that is not enough, you can lobby your political representatives to make representation for that to be increased. It was $100 once or twice a year, and it has been increased. I'm not saying that I'm not making a judgment as to whether it is enough or not. That is for you to make that judgment, and then to decide how do you lobby to get that change. So we asked you the question about how much you spend. We want to know the value of things because we want to ensure that you're getting your full entitlement. And when you go down to the wharf and you ask for the barrel paper, the PD, we want to ensure that when you go there that you're getting your right entitlement. So questions are asked for specific reason. And so we encourage you when the officer asks questions, don't be irritated, providing that the officer is doing it in a courteous manner. Answer as frankly, as straightforwardly as is possible. And then one of the things a lot of people don't know, we do inspections without actually digging up because we have X-ray machines. So if you have traveled through the airports, you will see them. They're on the seaport, they're in the warehouses, and so we are using X-ray and other scanning technology to scan the cargo and to scan the car and to scan the things that are coming into Jamaica. The fact is that we face a major challenge, and that major challenge is that Jamaica is an island. And let's put it straight. Some people ask, if customs is everywhere, how is it that things come into the country? And I'll say it again, because Jamaica is an island, and customs is at the major points and ports of entry, and we are doing our best every single day to ensure that the people of Jamaica are protected. Physical inspection, we might get to that point where you call dig up, but it's not every physical inspection is dig up. Because some things we might need to see down to the bottom of the barrel. We might need to see the bottom of the crate. We might need to see the back of the container. We might need to see the bottom of the suitcase. In some instances, no. Sometimes all I need to see is the top. So inspection is dependent on the information that the officer has and the information that you give to the officer in writing and how you respond to the questions and stuff that an officer may pose to you. After you've gotten your goods, you pay your duty and you're gone. If you're a commercial importer, then customs have up to 7 years in which to conduct an audit and to say to you that at some point in the system when you were clearing, that you never used. Remember I told you about the codes? That the codes weren't correct and that you have some more duty to pay. So we have up to 7 years to conduct that post-clearance and to ensure. Why 7 years? I can't give you a definitive answer as to why 7 years. I don't want to tell you that's what the law says. Maybe one of my senior, like the deputy commissioner or one of my resource panel, if they know when it comes to the question and answer, if they can shed some light as to why it's 7 years, then I invite them to do so. All right, this is about almost my last slide. So if everything is all right, right? So document checked, interview, everything is good. You get a tick. Get your goods, pay your duties, you go. If there is a discrepancy in what you have said verbally or a discrepancy in your documentation and what is in front of us, then it requires further intervention. If you're able to clarify it then and there, then we do what we need to do and then you proceed. If we're unable to clarify the matter then and there, we detain the thing, which means that we'll hold on to it and we give you a receipt and say, look here, we're not satisfied with the invoice, we're not satisfied, you don't have the permit, or whatever the discrepancy is, and we say, all right, when you come back and you clarify those issues, then we can move on in the process. There may be situations where the duties are more because the value that you have declared is not the correct value. That's a reality. People do it all the time. They submit the wrong invoices to customs, but we have our means of finding out what the correct values are. And in that instance, you are required to pay additional duties. The thing that a lot of people don't like, fines. So if you commit a traffic offense, there's a fine. If you commit a customs offense, there are a range of fines that you are subjected to. And one of the biggest offenses in customs is what we call a false declaration. So submitting a false document, or a document that has been adjusted, or giving a false answer or an incorrect answer when a question is asked. And the penalties can be very steep for that. But we're not out there looking to fine people for nothing. So that's why we're here today to say, look here, let us celebrate work. So when you come to us, you can be honest in your dealing, and we can be honest and courteous in our dealing, and then everybody can get what they need. We get the revenue, we protect the border, we facilitate the trade, you get your goods, and you go, and commerce, and your family, and everybody is all right. When you get to the extreme cases where you have breached the law and you can't make amends, we may get to the point of confiscation. Obviously, if you have something that we consider to be an illegal substance, like a firearm without a permit, or ammunition and drugs and different things like that, those things are straight seizures and confiscations. So, to wrap up, these are pictures of actual seizures and how ingenious we are as a people. If only we'd use that for good, right? So that's a furniture leg. And what is in that furniture leg, previous picture, is substances resembling, as our friend at JCF would say, resembling vegetable matter, right? We know the lingo. So the other picture and the other slide, I include that because I find it funny. Do you recognize the faces on the plaques? Right, but what is in the plaque? Vegetable matter resembling marijuana. And so people are ingenious. And we have a lot of other seizures. And you would have seen some if you visited the booth outside. And there are some for obvious security reasons we are not at liberty to share. But we tell you every day, people are trying hard every day to move weapons, ammunition, cash, drugs, counterfeit, cigarettes, you name it. People are trying to move it. And what I want to do in closing is to assure you that the men and women of Jamaica Customs, despite what you might hear sometimes, and you hear a lot of things because people are not aware, every day they go to work. Think about summer now. Think about how hot a warehouse is. The warehouses have no fans or very inadequate ventilation. But the officers are there bending their backs right now, every day, digging through cargo to ensure not just that the revenue is collected, but to ensure that contraband is not moving through the cargo that is coming in and out of Jamaica. Why do we do it? Because we live here, and our family live here, and most of us have nowhere else to go. And so we do it on your behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
I see you enjoyed that immensely. I did mention, however, that we immediately after his presentation, we would have a 15-minute question and answer segment. But I'm going to ask you to keep the questions until after both presentations. So any question you have to ask, please jot down your question, jot them down, and please ensure that you are paying keen attention, rapt attention. You see those goodie baskets and bags over there? They are tokens to give away. So we ask you questions based on the presentations that were done, and whoever answers correctly wins for themselves a token, whether a basket, a gift basket, or a bag, a gift bag. All right? So please, at this time, however, before we go to the next presentation and the final presentation, we will be having an infotainment presentation that will be done by none other than the staff of the Jamaica Customs Agency. I ask you to put your hands together and make them welcome as they come with a drama presentation from the Montego Bay team. Immediately after the drama presentation, we will be having Mr. Damien Beckford. He will be presenting on personal and commercial imports. He's a manager at the Entry Processing Unit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, due to technical glitches, it appears that the technology in St. Mary, yes, and I go embassy for me. All right, we're going to be taking the other presentation, ladies and gentlemen. And so at this time, we'll be inviting Mr. Damien Beckford. He is a manager for the Entry Processing Unit. He will be presenting on personal and commercial imports, and that includes parcels and packages. Immediately after that, the infotainment, and then we take the question and answer. Please remember to write down your questions and write down points, because we'll be asking questions based on the presentation. So do ensure that you're writing down the information that is being received, so that when we throw the questions and you're able to answer and win for yourself a worthy basket. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you have some surveys, some questionnaires that you need to complete. I pray that you complete them, as we will be collecting them from you momentarily. So those surveys that you have been issued, we ask that you complete them, or they're being issued now, and also some cards, well, information card you may complete and return to customs. All right, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, please make Mr. Damien Beckford welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so you have been listening to a presentation telling you about why we do what we do and why we have to do what we do, and trying to get you to understand the reasons behind our functions and our operations. My task will be to basically tell you how you can get your goods, how you can clear your goods, right? So then, is there anybody here who is a commercial importer or has any intention to become a commercial importer? All right, just in case you have plans, let me give you some ideas. Commercial goods are considered to be anything that you will be selling or trading, offering to the public or selling to anybody at all, right? Commercial goods. Now, let's just say you want to import something to sell, to make a money, right? To sell back to somebody else in order to make some cash. There are some things that you will have to do. There are some things that you will have to ensure that you have in place. Now, please bear in mind, friends, there are some occasions when you would have imported some goods that you are saying, boys, for your family and for your friends. A whole heap of stuff, but they can be considered to be commercial. Any idea?
Motor car.
All right, motor cars. Any idea why how some personal goods can be considered commercial?
Things for your parents that they use because they are having a special situation, medical things.
Okay, anybody else?
Clothing.
Clothing, but it's personal, so why would we consider it to be commercial?
The amount.
The amount, okay. All right.
Because it is in excess.
In excess of what?
Like, for instance, like the amount it's in excess. Like, normally, if you're having a family reunion and you're saying these are personal stuff for family, but when custom check it, they are saying that it's in excess. Yeah.
All right. Very good. No, yes, I heard you when you said, yeah, but your family can big. 10 brother and sister, 15 cousin and 20 niece and nephew, right? I understand. Bear in mind, however, when you're importing goods into the country, the goods are consigned, one, to a particular person. That person takes ownership of the goods. Now, when that person takes ownership of the goods, it is considered to be your goods. Yes, of course we know that you're going to send some stuff for your family and your friends and your cousin and the 20 niece and nephew that you have. But when we look at the goods, we see that all of these jeans pants, them just look like, what did you say?
Same size.
Okay. And them just enough. It's your goods, you know. But you're a female and a whole heap of man pants and man shirt and that kind of stuff inside the shipment. And a whole heap of things, them just enough. It is above what is considered to be a personal quantity. Now, so we are talking about commercial goods, but then we have to distinguish that there are times when you have personal goods that can be considered to be commercial quantity. Nobody not saying you must have be selling them, you know. We are saying that they are of commercial quantity. No. So you want to become a commercial operator, importer. What do you need? Bear this in mind. Goods valuing 5,000 US dollars or more. 5,000 US dollars or more will require the services of a licensed customs broker. Right? So you're importing the goods to be sold, they value more than 5,000 US dollars. You have to get a broker to clear the goods for you. But what if the goods are less than $5,000? Of course, you can come and clear it yourself. But in coming to clear it yourself, there are some things that you must have. You must have
your ID.
Your ID, very good, thank you. You must have your tax compliance certificate. You must have, what was that?
TRN passport, very, very important.
TRN passport would represent the ID, very, very important. Thank you very much. But one, what did you say a while ago?
The invoice.
The invoice. But as you heard in the presentation earlier, we're not interested in the invoices that you make at your house. We're not interested in the ones that you use Google and download something in order to make it and present to us. We are interested in the authentic, what you say, Mommy?
Authentic. The original.
Very good. The original invoices. That's absolutely important. Absolutely important. Now, when you are going now to clear the commercial goods, and you're going by yourself, your ID, your TRN, your TCC, your authentic invoices, your bill of lading, or your airway bill that you would have gotten from the shipping agent, you need all of those, right? Now, in clearing these commercial goods, you're going to firstly go to the port where the agent that called you to say, "Ma'am, sir, your goods are now here in Jamaica." You're going to go to them first. When you go to them, they will give you the documents for the shipment, right? What did you say?
The airway bill.
The airway bill, the bill of lading, right? That you will take and you're going to pay them a fee right there, so. Good? After you leave them, depending on whether or not the same shipping agent owns the warehouse, they might send you somewhere to another warehouse to clear the goods. Get me? When you go to that warehouse is going to charge you a different money. Because that warehouse would have incurred some cost in handling your container or your box or your crate or whatever it is. So they're going to charge you some different money. Now, did you hear me say anything about customs yet? All right, you know, you're nothing about customs yet. So we're gone 2 money already. Good? Then you're going to come now to customs. And even if you never pay the shipping agent and you never pay the warehouse keeper, you have to pay your customs them money. Because it's not collecting it for cargo on my yard, you know. I am collecting it on the government's behalf. So that you can drive on good road, me can drive on good road. When you're sick, you can go to hospital. When you walk on the road, light can light it so that you can see where you're going. Right? That's why we need the money. And that's why we have to collect the money. All right? But watch this now. Many of you, let me go over to my friend here, because I saw your hand earlier when we were asking about clearing barrels. And you stick up your hand. We want to talk a little bit about the personal shipments now. You've cleared a barrel before?
Yes.
What did you have to walk with? What did you have to take with you?
Well, previously the paper from the airport, the yellow paper, but now it's like electronic.
The lady bright, don't it? Clap her, man. She bright. Clap her, clap her, clap her. Now, we have, let me just jump to that and respond to that quickly so that I don't forget. You are used to what is called, and you heard it mentioned earlier, the barrel paper or the yellow paper. Good? We are no longer issuing that yellow paper. Now, it's not that you're not going to get it again, or you're not going to get the benefit again. But we have now gone electronic. Good? So when you come to the airport, and the officer, according to my colleague earlier, inspects or examines your luggage, right? Me never say dig up, me say examine or inspect. Your shipment, your luggage that you have with you. He or she will make a determination how much of that $500 you would have spent. Them can ask you, and that is why it is important that you make sure you talk the truth. Good? And let's just say you don't use anything, because what you have is not much, right? And you don't use anything. That $500 can be used to assist you in clearing those goods that you would have either shipped into Jamaica, right? Or sent by sea into Jamaica, or sent by courier into Jamaica, or sent by the post into Jamaica. That $500 good anywhere you go. If it's the courier you're going through, it good. If it's the post office you're going through, it good. If it's the wharf you're going, it good. Right? And that will help you to clear those items. Now, in order for the customs officer to ensure that you get your money's worth, you have to walk with, again, your...
Huh?
What you have to walk with? Tell me, Mummy, because you did go.
I don't know.
You have to...
It's a passport, your TRN, and your identification.
Right.
the passport is needed to help us to verify, say, you is you. Don't it? Because I don't want you to come and because you're pretty, you smile with me, I'm just give you that lady the balance. You understand me? Good. So I need your passport in order to verify that yes, you traveled and so on. Good. And we can say, yeah, man, that lady look like a she this and it look like a fair thing this, so we're going to make sure get our goods. Right? Your passport, your TRN, and get these friends. Whether you live in Jamaica or not, you need that TRN in order to get that 500 US dollars. So when your cousin coming for the summer, and she send the barrel for her children, them who going to stay at your house, good? With the things them for the children who going to stay at your house. You tell her must make sure she take the yellow paper at the airport, don't it? But guess what? She don't live here. So she don't have no TRN. Friends, she must get or have a TRN in order to get the benefit of that allowance. Right? Must-haves. TRN and your ID. Some of you might go to the immigration hall and you might have used the kiosk at the airport. That kiosk, that little machine that you go and stand up in front of and it take a picture and blah, blah, blah. You will walk with that little white receipt as well. Because it helps to further your case. It helps us to identify that you are you. You understand what I'm saying? We're not saying you're dead and have a must and our arrest will not give you, but it helps to further your case. So that takes care of the allowance. But watch this now. Let's go back a little bit. And I use this example because I realize that everybody will always get it when I use it. Suppose you're wanting that the benefit of your allowance. Right? You come here, my friend. Yeah, man, help me out. Can I ask you to help me? Sure, very good. Come. You want the benefit of your allowance, right? And you come to the port and we are examining your barrel or your box or whatever it is that you have. Good? She comes, right? And when you open her luggage, you see her, right? You seeing her? Everybody seeing her? All right. And I'm sure you're seeing me, right? All right. Very good. Now watch this. You open our barrel. And when you open the barrel, you're bright, man. You're bright. You're bright. You hear what she said a while ago? Tell them what you said.
Some big clothes.
She having at the barrel some clothes that can fit me. The barrel full to the brim with pure big clothes. Technically, brothers and sisters, friends, relatives, cousins, aunties, nieces, nephews, technically, that yellow form is not supposed to be used on the things them that don't belong to
you.
Say me.
Me.
Because a pure big clothes we can fit me. Watch this. Again, let me point it out. We're not saying that she can't ship for her husband who look like me, you know. We're not saying that. But if the barrel full up from bottom to top with the things them, she love him, right? That yellow form technically should not be used to clear all of those items, friends. Thank you very much. All right, give her a hand.
Watch this. You will send a shipment or a package through one of the couriers. And because you know that the courier will ensure that you get your goods quickly, you use them. Not so. The post office, quickly. So you use it. Good? When you are clearing those packages and parcels as well, you still need to have your
ID and TRN.
your ID,
TRN.
your TRN, and if it's a commercial shipment, what else? Your TCC and your invoices, your authentic invoices. So let's just say you ship a TV through one of the couriers or the post office. You will get a notification from either the courier or the post office, and they will say it is held by customs. Now, customs is not in the business of killing anybody or killing off anybody, as we love to think. Again, me see how you look at me a while ago, you know. The money now go in my pocket. It is for the government of Jamaica, right? So guess what? Because we don't want to kill you off, we want you to walk with your authentic receipts, your invoices, right? Anything that will help to further your case with regards to what you paid for the item that you have shipped. You must have your TRN. You must have your ID. You understand me? Once you have your receipt with you, walk with your receipt. Suppose you got it in your email. Walk with the phone where you have little Wi-Fi internet on it so that you can open it, so that the officer can look at it and see it and try to verify it as well. Right? Suppose you're clearing a barrel. Can anybody tell me what is the basic price for that customs will charge you? All right, $6,500. Very good. But notice I said that is the basic price, so that means it can be more than the 6.5. Not so? So if you have a barrel with your personal items, and just basic items, very basic items, and your cousin who is standing beside you have a barrel with the same basic items, clothes and food and shoes and so on, and probably one small iron and blah, 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 like that. You have a TV in the barrel with the clothes and the food. You think your cousin going to pay the same thing like you? That's why you have the basic barrel rate, $6,500. So guess what, friends? It's not because I'm jealous of your TV where you have. No. It is because the basic rate is set at the 6.5 for your basic items. Clothes, little food, your clothing, one small iron, one small appliance like that and so on. But you can't expect to have a 32-inch TV in the barrel and pay the same $6,500 like everybody else. Follow me, friends? Please bear that in mind. Now, there is a little thing called de minimis. What did I say? De minimis, right? De minimis. Good? What is that? That is a basic rate of $50, right? That if your goods value 50 and less, customs will sorry?
Give you a waiver, you don't pay.
Customs will give you a waiver, you don't pay. It's not exactly a waiver, right? But it's a benefit that everybody get. Good? Under the second schedule of the Customs Act, which is the authority, customs will not charge you if it's less than that. Good? So if you send your little package, so when you say that customs wicked and we're bad and we just dig out your eye and dig up your things them, we're giving you back something too. If it is that it is $50 or less, we will not charge you any duties on that. Good? For your parcels, for your packages, I hear a man mention over there so a while ago the barrel. I don't know how him get the barrel for less than $50, but the parcels, the packages, and stuff like that. Get me, friends? $50 US. What the word name? All right. So then, when you're going to clear all your shipments, commercial, personal, what are some of the things you need for commercial shipment?
ID.
ID, you?
TRN.
Your TRN, what else?
Passport.
Your passport, what else?
TCC.
The TCC, the tax compliance certificate, telling us that you're up and up, and you register your business and you're doing what you're supposed to do with the government, right? Your TCC, and most importantly, the what?
Import declaration.
The?
Import declaration.
Yes. You see, y'all help me do my presentation as well. Thank you very much. The broker will prepare for you that import declaration, right? That you use to clear your commercial shipments. And guess what? The broker can also prepare that same import declaration to clear your personal items too, you know. So when you go to the broker, him say, "Ma'am, what you have in the shipment?" And you tell him. And when you tell him just sit down right at him desk there, so. And him do up every little thing on the system. Make sure I truth you tell him do, you know. Him do up everything on the system. And when him do up that on the system, him just give you this number and say, "Ma'am, just go straight to customs and show them this number." You must have wondered to yourself, say, then one little number, one to the whole heap of paper them when they have, what we used to get. Him give you the number, and when you go, the customs person just pull up the number. The person will interview you. The person will ask you some questions, of course, in that interview, right? Look at the system to see what you have there, to see if it's consistent with the questions that you answered, right? And guess what? If it is that the officer is satisfied, if him satisfied, good, and him good, and him probably take a peep on the barrel and so on and so forth, him just make you send you go pay, and you're good to go. You don't have to go to him do the examination, then him go in, go sit down, and after him sit down, him do it on the system, and you wait again, and then him give the paper, and you go to the cashier. You understand me? So we're trying to make it a little bit easier for everybody, so that uno na fi cuss we like uno always a cuss we. All right? So answer your question. Right? Now, friends, please bear these things in mind. Your TCC for your commercial shipments, your TRN, right? Your bill of lading if you have it, right? Your import declaration if you have it, good. And your authentic, the real, genuine, authentic, original invoices, right? Make sure you have all of those. And of course, your ID. You must have your ID, because we don't want to give you his goods and give him your goods. So we have to make sure. All right? Friends, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for paying keen attention to both presentations. Did you enjoy the presentations? So I'm going to be taking the question and answer before the infotainment. You want that or you want the infotainment first? Question and answer? All right, question and answer. Good. So we take those questions now. Could we have a running mic for the resource panel? could we have a running mic for the resource panel, please? Thank you so much. It will be set up in each aisle, or one rather, will be set up. If you have a question, you may approach the microphone. If you have a question, you may approach the microphone. There's one in that aisle. And we need a mic for the resource persons. Mic for the resource persons, so they may. A mic for the resource persons, resource. And for the police. Resource persons. All right, thank you. So we'll be, okay, if we have more persons coming in that aisle, I don't think the microphone should be in that aisle, no? Is it okay, Mr. Videographer? It's okay. All right. All right, so we take your question, sir. Go ahead. And do remember that we have persons listening in cyberspace, persons from the GIS platforms, so we will be fielding questions from cyberspace as well. So let me just welcome and say hi to our persons listening in cyberspace once more. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Mr. Mason. Question for Mr. Henry and his colleague. You mentioned about the yellow form, and if a barrel or something comes in at custom, you get $500. Now, my question is, what happens if the barrel is from door to door? All right? Does that $500 still apply to the individual?
Yes, sir. The $500 is still applicable if you're clearing a door-to-door shipment. What you do is ensure that the information is communicated to the shipping agent. They might ask you to come in to present your passport to them and so on, so that they will do the clearance on your behalf. The $500 is still applicable for the door-to-door shipment. What if you're not in Jamaica? What if you came already and you left before the shipment came? You can, of course, ensure that you have notarized copies of those documents to present to the door-to-door agent so that he can do the clearance on your behalf. So yes, your $500 is still applicable for your door-to-door shipment clearances.
One more question. When I go to an agent and I get a barrel and I tell them I want it from door to door, they give me a price, and that price they give me is to clear everything at custom. The question I'm asking is, why do I still have to pay sometime up to $10,000 just to clear the barrel after I pay what I regard as a full amount in the first place to the first custom? An example, say I'm using Mr. Kingsley, and I pay Mr. Kingsley a sum. I expect that sum that I pay him, that when the barrel lands here in Jamaica, I'm expecting that barrel to be at my door for the fee that I already originally paid him. I'm not expecting to pay another fee on top of that again, because I'm paying from door to door.
That's understandable. But please remember this. The agent will be able to give you his fee, a breakdown of his fees, right? He possibly can give you, if it's one barrel, a regular shipment. Perhaps he can estimate the cost for the warehouse keeper if they are different, right? But what he cannot give you with any certainty is the cost for customs, the duties for customs. Why? The shipment might contain something other than what you may have told him that was in the shipment, right? Because remember, he's now able to prepare that declaration in your absence. Good?
Yeah.
it might contain more than what was declared. Or sometimes you declared truthfully, you know, everything that is there, and something was left off. Or you might have declared it to him, but he classified the item at a place where it should not be classified. What am I talking about? Goods, everything that you will import has a particular classification. Good?
Yeah.
Now, it is a classification that will determine the duties that you will pay. If it is that he misclassified or incorrectly classified the item, he told you a price. When you do the examination, you find that the classification is elsewhere, that higher duties are applicable, then of course that's another reason how you can end up paying a little bit more than. Nobody but the customs officer at the point of examination can say definitively what you will pay for goods or duties on your goods.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. We're going to be taking the, no, he says we have to use here. Taking your question, and then we will be alternating between the aisles, right? So after we take your question, sir, then we go to the gentleman in the red shirt, then you, and then, all right, go ahead.
Yes, good evening. My name is Robert Smelly. I'm the acting president for the Wagwater Valley Development Area Committee.
Welcome, Mr.
My question is, we're a community-based group, and sometimes we have friends in America or different countries that send us stuff. How do we get a waiver to be able to clear our stuff without cost?
Mr. Carter? All right, so...
Did you hear that clearly?
Yes, I heard the question, sir, and we'll answer you. That's that the charter question or director for...
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
You're asking about getting a waiver, right?
Yes.
Okay, that was something of the past. What is required of you now as a benevolent organization is that you be registered as a charity with the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies.
Okay.
What customs relies on at the point of clearance is that certificate. Although it's uploaded in the system, but we want to know that you have received approval from the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies. Once you have that approval, then all the necessary duties and taxes will be exempt. But if your friend from abroad just send it down to you like that, and you turn up at the port, it's impossible for us to assist you at that stage in terms of relieving of duties and taxes.
I suppose in the U.S. they have 501(c) organization, which is totally tax exempt, that send us stuff. You know what I mean? How do we get that here? Because once it comes here, then it costs us a bag of money, and sometimes we can't even clear it. So there should be some kind of, way that I know that you said that we have to be registered and stuff like that. But once you get registered, does that automatically remove the charges or what?
The most of the charges. Once you have that valid certificate in your possession prior to clearance, and you come to the port, it's already embedded in the system, and will recognize you as an approved charity. And therefore, you'll get exempt from customs duty, GCT, and you'll pay a portion of custom administration fee. But for the most part, majority of the taxes will be exempt.
Okay.
So it's very important that you go, they are located at 2 Musgrave Avenue.
Yeah.
You can do your research, we can give you information after this and help you to make contact with them, and they will guide you on how to become registered.
Okay.
But if you don't have that valid certificate or you're not an approved charity, it's very difficult for us to grant any exemption at the port. But unless the government chooses to give you a special waiver if you write to them, but right now the policy is not to write to the government for a waiver or to depend on customs to give you a waiver. This is for you to get registered as a charity organization.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. We take your question, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Marvin Nalty from Castan CDC, President. My question goes to Mr. Kingsley. What if there's a situation where I sent a package or a shipment, and before I got called that it is ready, I met in an accident and I'm unable to collect it? What is the procedure for it to be collected?
Mr. Beckford.
All right. It's something that I should have mentioned in my presentation, but thanks for your question nonetheless. If you're unable to go to the point of clearance, any at all, there are provisions for someone else to clear it for you. There are no forms, documents uploaded on our website that you can use to authorize somebody to clear on your behalf, right? So it's a document that you complete authorizing Damian Beckford to clear the shipment on your behalf. You ensure that you give him the necessary copies of your documents, ID, TRN, and so on. He has his ID to take to the port to help you to clear those items, or to clear the items on your behalf. But we must be sure that the goods that we're delivering and we're charging duties on belongs to the person who is coming to clear. Therefore, the authorization is necessary, absolutely necessary.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Remember, we're alternating, so we take the next. Oh, it's your turn now. Yes, go ahead.
I am Philson Patrick Price. 3 peas in a pod. And you notice I'm a senior. I am sorry to be late. I was elsewhere with my seniors. You notice that I have 3 medals today. Yeah, 4 for that matter. 3 silver and 1 bronze. Didn't I do well? But you must look clap until me tell you what happened. The men they weren't as active as me, so that's why I come up so far. All right. Anyway, sir, my question is, I was not too au fait with the gentleman that spoke before, that explained the duties charged. And anything that I import.
You were here during the presentation?
No, I wasn't here.
So we're going to have
I came and I catch the tail end at that gentleman.
All right,
there.
so after this, we will meet with you and explain to you.
All right, thank you.
Promise that. All right, we take the question from that gentleman.
My name is Ian Palmer from the St. Mary Parish Development Committee. Is there a time limit as to when shipments or packages or boxes or whatever can be held by customs? Is there a time limit or it's indefinite? That's just one question. What the most significant question is, I'm not sure which act this comes under, but in most jurisdictions, returning residents bringing in their motor vehicle after they have owned it for a number of years is not charged any duties. Why is it that we're charged duties to bring cars in Jamaica after we have owned the car for several years?
Mr. Beckford.
All right, so the question about the question about the motor vehicles. As a returning resident, yes, there are some benefits with regards to importing motor vehicles. The benefit that you get, once we are satisfied that you are a returning resident and we have so approved, you are able to import a motor vehicle that is older than the regular limit. Good? So presently, you're able to import a motor car that's 5 years old, right? As a returning resident, you're able to import a vehicle that is up to 10 years old. Once you can prove that this vehicle is yours, was in your possession, and so on and so forth, we're satisfied, you can get that. With regards to the duties, however, the duties are still applicable. That's a policy decision, that's a decision of the government and so on, why those duties are still applicable to motor vehicles. And we just enforce that policy accordingly. With regards to why, as my colleague mentioned earlier, a part of your lobbying process, lobby a member of parliament, lobby your representatives to ensure that that may be adjusted. All right?
Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Just to inform you that the gentleman from the Castleton CDC, if it is that you're asking anyone to collect anything on your behalf, the letter that you are sending must be witnessed signed and sealed by a justice of the peace or by a notary public. All right? Go ahead, sir.
Yes. Good evening again. My name is Denzel Ellis. I represent the Eudol Farmers Group. I have 3 questions. One, is there a special concession for returning farmers, especially the ones who are taking in second-hand equipment, such as walkers or chainsaw? Okay. The second question is, I notice you concentrate a lot on importation. What is the procedure for a private farmer to export items? And the third one is there a special concession for returning farmers? I specifically say farmers because I represent.
That's the third question?
Yes.
So the third and first question seem to be the same thing, right?
Well,
Special concession for returning farmers.
Yeah.
So Mr. Beckford will speak to that. Ms. Karen Barrett Christie will speak to the next question as to farmers exporting. She will give you the steps as to what are required from the agricultural perspective and also incorporate the customs procedures required.
Okay, I'll just sit and listen.
All right, for the farmer, in order to get benefit on equipment that you may be importing, right? There is a registration process. A process that starts with the Ministry of the MICOF Ministry, Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries. That ministry what they will do is to do an assessment of you. You make an application, right, to them. You're registered with them as a farmer. Good? That's the local ministry. After that ministry has registered you, they will write to customs. Customs will have officers come to your farm to do an assessment, an evaluation, to ensure that the activities that you're engaged in are so bona fide, and we will issue, once we're satisfied, we will issue to MICOF as well as yourself, right, a letter certifying you as a farmer, and you can get that benefit. Good? Now the benefit, of course, is waiver of some of the taxes, specifically the general consumption tax, your importing equipment general consumption tax, and if it is applicable, other taxes like this special consumption tax, ad valorem and specific, right? Now, your first question was about whackers and chainsaw, right? Once we're so satisfied that you are a registered farmer here in Jamaica, good? That is your business, your practice. Then under the Customs Act, you're able to get exemptions for your tools of trade. Good? So if this is your business, this is your practice, this is your work, right? Then you can so get that benefit on those items. But you must ensure you don't just turn up to customs and say, see me ID here, see me registration here, I'm a farmer. You have to go through that process so that the ministry will so certify you. Go to customs, customs does their checks and says, yes, this man is good to go, and then the benefits can be accrued to you. All right? Miss?
I just want to find out from the gentleman who asked the question about the farmers. Is it that you're asking about farmers, persons who are farmers by profession abroad and returning, or about farm workers, those who went on the farm work program and are returning?
Okay, my situation is specific. Someone abroad bought acres of land here, and he came down and he he's actually involved in farming the land now. He has retired, and he's actually farming the land now. But he brought in some equipment, and to be honest, he is complaining about the cost he paid for the second-hand stuff.
I hope his explanation would be able to assist. Alicia Rose Christian, Alicia Rose will assist in where that is concerned with incentives. And then we have the entomologist from the Ministry of Agriculture, Mrs. Karen Barrett Christie, to speak to the rest of it. Go ahead, Alicia.
Good afternoon. So I just wanted to add some meat on Mr. Beckford's answer to yes. So you would have to apply to RADA to certify your farm, your friend. So when RADA certifies the farm, you would go to the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, the Agriculture Division, to get a letter, and then they would send the letter to Customs. So Customs would do, through the incentives unit, would do a verification visit.
Speak, continue.
Visit
The mic is
to verify that you are a farmer. The benefits include concessionary benefits on your raw materials, intermediate goods, consumables, packaging, and machinery and equipment. The categories of duty exemption, I can give you this paper afterwards. Import duty concession, SD exemption, standard compliance fee exemption, zero rated GCT, that means you don't pay any GCT, and 50% customs administrative fee.
And just to add that as a president of an association, you can lobby on behalf of the individual farmers, but each farmer must prove, what it is that they are doing. The entomologist, Mrs. Karen Barrett Christie.
Hi. Uy. Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Karen Barrett Christie, and I'm from the Plant Quarantine Produce Inspection Branch. My division is responsible for the certification of all imports and exports. So in order for you to export anything out of the country, you need to come to plant quarantine. In order to export, you must have a facility that we have certified. So I have to talk to you afterwards so you know what the requirements are. You meet those requirements. We help you to set up the packaging facility. You will have to find your market. And once you find your market, you pack the goods, take them to us, we certify them, and then you're good to export. So I have the brochure for the export process, which I will give to you, and then you can call, and we will guide you, okay?
Thank you, Mrs.
No, man, when he comes, because Jampro is a part of that process.
Thank you, Mrs. Barrett Christie. I have a question from cyberspace. And they're watching online live and listening to. This question is from Claudia McCoy Hunt. And I quote, "I am a law-abiding citizen of Jamaica. When I come out there with my stuff, you custom officer want to pay them extra money for themselves. That is wrong. And the next thing that they do is going online to it I get for check prices. When you get this stuff on sale, them a dig out we eye with prices, it I get from bad to worse," unquote. Mr. Hanson, or resource person, or Mrs. Antoinette Whiteley Scott. Yes. them as some of use the resource person. I cannot.
Good evening, all. All right, as for the inspection of any cargo, once it is coming into Jamaica and the officers are examining those shipments, as Mr. Beckford said before, we have to use or have the authentic receipts. If it is that no receipt is provided, then of course we have to do the research on those items. For example, you are importing or receiving a pair of shoes from a friend in overseas. When they come to us, they have no invoices. Customs has to research the values to assign to see whether they are de minimis. Mr. Beckford used that term meaning under 50, or is it that it's over 50 where duties are applicable? So it's not that we're padding the receipts or padding the value, but we have to ensure that whatever is declared is true and correct.
Thank you. And do remember, Mr. McCoy Hunt, that we have different methods of valuation. And these, we are guided by law to apply these methods. So if it is that you present to us invoices that are questionable, we're not saying that what you presented was questionable, but if you present invoices that are questionable, we reserve the right to do our own research to arrive at the right values. Okay, and also, that's why the onus is on you to ensure that you declare to customs the right duties and to present your invoice. If you get the items on sale, present the sale invoice. Because we do accept those invoices and once it's authentic. There are many discounts that we accept. 3 types of discount: trade discount, quantity discount, and cash discount. And so you must ensure that if you are telling us something, you must be able to corroborate the story you are giving us. We took a question here, so it's yes. She has been waiting so long.
Okay, my name is Jakelia Fletcher, and I'm a member
Just before you continue, we have to close off the question and answer. So no more after the lady in purple and no more after the gentleman. We have to take the questions quickly as time is up on us. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Jakelia Fletcher, and I'm a member of the Boswell Police Youth Club. And I'm wondering, I have 2 questions. Does the monetary value affect personal or commercial shipment? Will it change depending on the monetary value?
Could you repeat the question, please?
The monetary value. Say if I bought something for $100 or something like that, will like the amount that I paid for it, the amount that's value, will it be a personal or commercial? Would it affect the amount that it's valued? The value of the item, it's personal, but would the amount affect whether it be charged
classified as commercial
or personal?
Or a personal, the value, or Mr. Beckford?
All right, we had mentioned earlier about 5,000 above, 5,000 below. There might be a personal shipment that is over $5,000, might be.
Yeah.
That personal shipment will be treated as a personal shipment once we are so satisfied that it's a personal shipment.
Okay.
However, once it goes over the $5,000, it will have to be processed. Your broker will have to intervene on your behalf so that he can make that declaration for you and submit to customs, right?
Okay.
So that's if it goes over the $5,000, right? Once we're satisfied that your items are personal items, then we charge you the duties accordingly. If the items are commercial items, however, good? Let's just say it's a personal item, but it is manufactured by the manufacturer as a commercial item, then commercial rates would be applicable, right?
Okay.
Can I just add this as well? If you're importing commercial items through the courier, your processing fee, which is a customs administration fee, that is at least $5,000. That's just the processing fee alone, $5,000. was as high as, it was at 10 and 12.5 before now, prior to now, was reduced to $5,000. If it's a personal shipment, it's $2,500 for the processing fee, right? And even the 6.5 that we mentioned earlier, which is the basic rate for a barrel, that also includes, that 6.5 includes the $2,500 processing fee.
Okay. My second question is, you mentioned earlier that the amount of an item could make it classified as a commercial shipment.
Or the quantities?
Yeah, the quantity.
Okay.
So does each item have like a set amount before it becomes a commercial? Because like, now I had 10 shirts, right? If I have 10 shirts, would it be considered a commercial or a personal? Does each item have a set amount before it becomes a commercial item?
It would be unfair for me to stand here to say to you that 10 shirts will be, classified as commercial, right? There is no set amount. We're not going to say to you, all right, if you have more than 6 T-shirts, it's commercial. We're not going to say that to you.
Okay.
We are so trained, right? We have been so exposed to the methods in valuation and so on, where when we look at a shipment, when we do a thorough examination of a shipment, when we interview you, ask pertinent questions and so on, a determination can be successfully made if the shipment is a commercial or personal shipment.
Yeah, because I have to
So I'm not going to say to you 10, 6, 1 dozen, anything like that.
I have to ask because it happens so many times where I come from a big family, and I find it to be unfair if we ship a lot of stuff and they're ours, but yet they want to charge it as a commercial, in a commercial way. So I'm saying that maybe you guys should have like a set amount. I mean, like, there's certain restrictions, yeah. So everybody, like, one person, oh, you're fine. The other person be like, that's commercial. That's not a personal. So I was saying maybe you guys should have like a set amount.
Take on. But remember we said earlier, the onus is on you to make accurate declarations. Good? We can conduct an interview, and based on the answers to your questions, based on the conclusions we make from those questions and whatever it is else that you would have presented to us to help to further your case, that determination can be made. Please bear in mind, friends, we're not there to dig out nobody's eye. We are there to collect what is owed to the government. All right? I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. Do remember that persons listening in cyberspace, if you're not able to field your questions, if we're not able to field your questions this afternoon, you may write your questions and submit them to our public.relations@jacustoms.gov.jm or quick response at jacustoms.gov.jm, right? And you will get answers to your questions. We continue? Continue, go ahead. Good afternoon.
Ferguson Nugent, a teacher at the Mason Primary and Infant Department. My question for you is, when you go to that easy machine at the custom and you put in all your information, why is it not your passport is not being stamped?
That's immigration.
Yes, but why I'm throwing this question is I am reapplying for my visa, not remembering when I travel, and that is on the paper that they have.
And you lost the paper that they gave you.
What is happening now? I applied for my visa online, and I don't remember if it's 2015 or 2016. And
all right, so just before we go, this is not the entity that answers. We are customs, right? You need PICA, passport.
No, suppose you can help.
Lord Jesus, St. Mary, people give you a basket to carry water.
Maybe you can.
All right, so what I do know unofficially is that for you to prove to the embassy that you traveled, you have to visit the PICA office, passport, the immigration office, and get that date. They will find that information for you to take to the embassy. If you're doing it online, you must appeal to them as well for them to find that date for you, and you can use the information.
Thank you,
That's
but
right,
it's not fair to us to be entering the United States. When I'm going, there was no stamp. When I was coming back, no stamp. So I don't know when did I travel, and that question is going to be thrown to us when we are reapplying.
Man, they not give back the visa.
They will, because my husband is a return
You try to find
resident.
passport office quickly
No,
here.
they will, because I have to go over there sometimes to give. So
Thank you
they
so
will
much.
return.
But you have to contact passport office, and that's a rule, because I had to do it too.
It's not fair to us.
So all right, just when you go to the embassy, just tell them it's not fair.
Yes, I'm going to write to them when I go.
Nobody
over
write
there.
to them, all right? All right, you have to sit with her. She's a teacher. She loves things methodically. That's right, teacher. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Taj.
No, man, just speak. The mic will come on eventually.
My name is Tajnik Ramsaru.
Hi, Ms. Ramsengru.
I am the Vice President for Youth Relations at the CDC level and at the PDC level. My question to you is there a limit on the amount of electronics that can be brought in by one person, by any one person?
If there's a limit
Yes.
of the amount of electronics or resource person, I know there's no limit, but you know what comes with the no limit, right? The duty, right? So there's no limit on any.
There's no limit. You can bring in anything you want to.
Any quantity, make your correct declaration and be prepared to pay the requisite duties as they are applicable.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. You and then our last two persons.
Good afternoon. I'm
Good
Paulette Barrett, and read how you check for things that you carry in. When you get a gift, you don't know the price.
When you get a gift, you do not know the price.
So when they're going to look online to check out the price, it's going to be unfair on us.
Right.
So how will they determine?
So when you get that gift, my sweet lady, do ensure that you get the cost for the gift as well, right?
So are you going to give somebody a gift and tell them how much it costs?
No, but you see why we have to go on. You see why we have to resort to our methods of research to arrive at the value. Not true. It doesn't seem fair, but that's what we have to do because you don't know the price. We have to assist you in arriving at the price. All right? Because there are certain things that we can do. We can either detain the item until you get the receipt for that item, which would be unfair to you. We do not want to have you coming back to customs because we know you don't like customs, right? Or you could talk to the person on spot from whom you got the gift and see if we can arrive at a value and see if the value given matches that which we are seeing. All right?
But you may be down here and they send it to you. How are you going to determine how much they paid for it?
You mean if they sent it to you? And that is where we come in, or we have to resort to our methods of valuation to help you so that you get your gift, all right? All the best.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayan Jarrett. I'm the president of the Retreat United Benevolent Society. I have two questions. One, as a charitable organization, what is the procedure, the requirements to follow when barrels are coming in from overseas to us as a group?
In the charity, we addressed that issue already, so we'll speak to you afterwards.
All right.
We addressed
and also,
that
is there a limit to the number of items that can come into the organizations? For example...
You mean the charity?
Yes.
There's no limit.
All right.
There's no limit.
Thank you.
And our final person.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Joseph Walters.
Joseph Walters. Welcome, Sir Walters.
My question is very easy. You don't have to go in the dictionary to get the answer.
Oh, let go.
Praise him.
He said his question is very hard. You have to look in the dictionary to get the answer.
The other day, on the 18th, I went from a barrel, I think it was the following Tuesday. 3 barrels are shipped, and I hear you said 1 barrel is 5,000 or 6,500.
6,500. It depends on the commodity.
I brought 3 barrels, and I get my old $500 at the airport. The lady tell me it's on the computer.
Yes.
And yet when I come there, I am checking that $500 supposed to be nearly totaling $60,000. And then I was asked to pay $8,500.
How much?
$8,500 I was asked to pay. And all I had in there, my wife died and was coming to burial, and I have some paper plates, some paper cups, some rice, some flour. I didn't even have a gown to put on. I didn't even have a dress to put on in it. And yet I was asked to pay $8,500, and I'm checking that $500 US is totaling almost $60,000 in Jamaica here. So I'm here from 10:30 this morning to ask this one question.
Oh, Lord. We're so happy that you get to answer the question, ask the question, Mr. Walters.
A lot of you people who came from Kingston could tell you.
And
a lot of people who came from Kingston could tell you.
so, Mr. Walters, seeing that you're here from so long, I'm going to ask, who do we have here? Mrs. Patricia Wigan Chambers, please come for me. Let us get a token for Mr. Walters. They're there too long. Come, Mr. Walters. Mr. Walters, please come. Step out here. You see the things in this basket are more than $8,500. So you get back your money.
That you remember the question.
Thank you, Mr. Walters. Mr. Walters, you don't even remember the question. No, not true. However, Mr. Walters, don't leave. Someone will speak to you afterwards. But do remember that what we do is that we issue 2 barrels are really allowed. If you have a full $500 allowance, 2 barrels are allowed for that fare. Because you and I know, say, I know $500, I take for pack 1 barrel, you know. Not true. More than that. Not true. Watch them. No more than that. But it's not less. But so we tap into that humane side of us, or humanity, and said, no, man. You know, Jamaicans have people to give things, so we allow 2. So you have to pay for 1 plus the additional fees. All right? So that is why $6,500 for 1 plus $1,500 for the yellow form plus for the processing fee. And also it depends on what is in the barrel as well. All right? It depends on what is in it. So thank you, Mr. Walters, for that question. And you see the wallet, you see Miss Douglas calling you beside her. Now give her none of your something out of your basket here. You want to add? Yes. And Mr. Beckford wants to add something. And then Montego Bay is coming quickly with the infotainment. And then don't leave. We have refreshment for you. Plus we have some tokens to hand out. All right? Thank you.
Just to add to in answering the last question, the allowance, the yellow form, as you know it, right? Of course, it covers the duties. The duties is $6,500 on 1 barrel. However, in order to arrive at a duty, it starts at a value, which we call the CIF value. So the CIF value is up here, and the duties of $6,500 is down here. The $500 will be calculated on the value, not the duties, which is $6,500. It starts at the value for 1 barrel, and then when the duties are calculated, it comes down to $6,500. So you would have gotten, Daddy, 2 barrels on your allowance, and you're paying the balance for 1 barrel as well as the processing fee for the allowance. All right? Just to close as well, it doesn't matter if you're importing items through the courier, through the post office, through the ports. If the items that you're importing require an import license or a permit from any of the other agencies, that requirement still exists. In other words, if you need a permit for the item, whether you ship it through the post office, the courier, or the wharf, you still need to have your permit in order to import those items. Thanks.
Is it drama team ready? Okay. After the drama team, we have some giveaways. Mike.
Ma.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Caribbean Airlines is pleased to announce the arrival of its flight BW10 out of New York. Passengers will disembark using gate number 11. Passengers may retrieve their bags at carousel number 10.
Boy, honey, the place is so hot. My God, it's been a long time I haven't been here. Oh my God, this airport looks so nice.
Honey,
wow.
It's not hotter than the last time we get here.
Wow, they do a lot of work on it. You see the work that they did, honey? Oh my God, this is so good. Jamaica is going on with a lot of things, man.
It's the same place we left here last time. What is wrong with you, ma'am?
Oh my God, wow. Jamaica is so nice. Wow.
Next in line, please.
It's nice to be here.
Come
the
forward
officer is
please.
calling us there. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon and welcome to Jamaica. Could I have your immigration and customs form, please?
Right here, ma'am. We have it right here.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And you?
We're fine. We're happy to be here.
Wonderful. And we're
Honey?
happy to have you here as well. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Carr.
Oh, the name is Kerr. It's Mrs. Kerr.
I do apologize, Mrs.
Thank
Kerr.
you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. I'm going to ask you guys just to write on the back of the cards what you have inside your bags. So you're just going to make a declaration right here for me and put a value there, please.
It's just our clothes in there, ma'am.
That's okay. I just need you to write it here for me,
Sit
please.
down, listen. I tell her to write something on the back. What is wrong with you?
Yes, just write it here and here for me, please.
Lend me your pen, please. Let me write.
You never take the pen on the plane, what do you?
This as well for me, please, Mrs. Kerr.
It's the same thing in there, just clothes.
That's fine.
Oh, here you go,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Did you guys ship anything?
Oh, yes, I have something at the wharf. I'm going down there to collect it now.
Okay, wonderful. Could I have your passport? Whose name is it shipped in?
It's just food in the parlor here.
I
that's
shipped it,
fine.
ma'am. I did the shipping.
Okay, could I have your passport, please?
Okay, right here.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to ask you guys to please put your bags on the trestle so we could take a look inside.
What you want to look in my bag for, ma'am?
Miss
Why
Kerr,
do you want to look in my bag?
we are required to take a look inside your bag to see what you're taking into our country, as well as for you to get an allowance.
Only clothes in my
she's
bag.
doing her work.
I totally understand what you're saying, Miss Carr. However, we still need to give you an allowance
Honey,
in
just
order
put up
for
the
you
bag, my man.
to go to the wharf.
Okay.
Everywhere
Do
you
you have
get your
someone to
bird.
put up the bag?
No, Miss Kerr. If you'd like assistance with your bags, you can go and ask one of the gentlemen by the carousel to assist you to place the bags on the trestle.
Madam Officer is fine. I'll put it up.
Thank you.
Okay. When anything wrong with you, don't call me tonight. Put up that one here. Idiot, this.
Miss Kerr, we're going to need your handbag as well, please.
Ma'am, this is my pocketbook. What do you want to see in my
I
bag?
totally understand, but customs reserve the right to check all bags coming in. Personal
Ma'am, this is my
items.
pocketbook. I don't think you need to look in my pocketbook.
Okay, Miss Kerr. I'm just gonna.
Okay, go ahead. There
She's
it is.
doing her work. Calm down, man. How are you? Where you get trouble?
Oh, Miss Kerr, I see you have some fruits inside here.
That's organic food, ma'am. I don't think you have those here. Take it out.
Miss Kerr, okay, organic or not, when you're taking...
I don't want you touching it, ma'am.
Miss Kerr, you're not allowed to take fruits into the country.
You know, say I no want me fruits, and I no want me. I no want me, and you're not getting in here today. Hey, not touch me. You want me to take your green card and you stay at Jamaica?
Okay, Miss Kerr.
You not get me fruits today.
Miss Kerr.
Yes?
Customs does agency function. So we work on behalf of Ministry of Agriculture, National Security, Ministry of Health.
What
Now, if you're taking fruits into the country, you are required to have a permit.
Permit for what?
All right.
And me fruits, me I go eat.
Miss Kerr, could you just listen, please?
To what?
Fruits require a permit from the Ministry of Agriculture prior to importation. This requirement exists in order to prevent the importation of pests and plant diseases which may be present in fruits and like produce, which can pose a threat to our food security. Firearm accessories, explosives, fireworks, and swords require a permit or license prior to importation from the Ministry of National Security or Trade Board. Their telephone numbers are 619-6063 or 967-0507. Toy guns are not allowed. The passenger may accept responsibility for his breach and opt for the commissioner to mitigate on his behalf according to Section 219 of the Customs Act. If he chooses this option, he will need to sign a Consent A form, write a letter of explanation to the Commissioner of Customs, asking him to mitigate on his behalf and pay a security deposit. If not, the agency will pursue the matter in court. The item or items will be detained until the relevant permit is obtained. The Jamaica Customs Agency has the facilitation of trade as one of its core values. The agency is eager to disseminate information so that persons does not commit breaches due to lack of information. Our website is www.jacustoms.gov.gm, and our customer service unit can be contacted at 922-5150-8. That's 922-5150-8.
Man, me never know all of them. So what you say about me yellow farm? I can't take your fruits. Give me farm and go down at the wharf.
Actually, Ms. Kerr, Custom no longer issues a yellow form.
You take me fruits, no you want take the liquor $500 one to give me.
Please? I'm not saying that you will not be getting the allowance. What I'm saying is that we're now going green. We're trying to go paperless. So everything is being done electronically. Therefore, you will still get your allowance. However, all you need to do is take your passport and your TRN to the wharf. You're listening?
Yes,
You're going to be taking your passport and your TRN to the wharf, and you will advise the officer there that you actually traveled and you were issued a C-27, and they'll do a verification.
Then suppose I never tell her that.
Then you will just have to pay all the necessary duties.
Come, give me the form.
Here you go, Miss Kerr. Would you like a detention notice? Yes, Miss Kerr.
No, I need no detention notice. Detention notice for what?
Yes, it's fine. Go ahead. Have a good day.
All right, thanks. Yeah, we can't go on. But they go down wharf right now. Whoop, down a wharf they go. Oh God. Oh, this place is so hot. long day if we wait down here, so. One long day if we wait down here, so we can't even get to go on my yard. And it takes so long to find the barrel them in this place here.
Miss Carr,
That's why I don't like sheep.
Mrs. Carr,
Oh, I'm here. Well, let me can't let me things in here, so. Oh, let me things here. Because see if nobody open it, because then thief, them custom people are then thief, always are open people barrel. What she went say me pick her again. Me tearing a good thing say, me never left that they sitting there. Me have it right here. So then wait upon them custom people there. Take me now, wait upon them. Me have me tearing. Me have everything for them.
Good morning, ma'am. How are
Hi.
you doing this morning?
I am very hot, ma'am. I come to clear my barrel.
Okay, so may I have your documents along with
She
your
said, must give you
ID
my
and TR?
passport, my TRN.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you want the ID?
Yes. Do you have, no, you have your passport here. Your passport can act as an ID.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so what is it that you say you have inside the shipment?
Just some clothes and some little things for me people. Them. Just some little things and little food.
And there's nothing else you need to add?
And me know say $500 me fi pay down here for my barrel.
Excuse me?
The lady tell me $500. When me come out of airport, she said $500 me fi pay.
All right. I'm not sure about that, but let me have a look as to what is inside the barrels.
So you can open it if you want to open it.
You're going to open the barrel, ma'am, and unpack the stuff. Yes.
Me fi open it?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyways.
Yes, your name is on it, so we are sure that
yes,
it belongs
yes,
to you.
Look if you not open it.
Okay.
See it there, what you want to see.
All
Just
right.
those.
So, you're going to unpack?
So me fi open now.
Never mind, miss. I'll unpack the barrel.
Oh.
All right,
Take
so...
time, don't pull them up too much. Me carry the little jersey here for the children them down at the school.
Yes,
me I help
ma'am.
them out. Me I help them, and some little Puma under the bottom.
Puma?
Help out the school. Yes, ma'am.
Where's the Puma, miss?
See it there.
No, miss, I'm seeing some shirts with a cat on it. This is not a Puma. This is a cat.
Miss, a Puma, me buying a Puma there.
Miss, what is the brand? Mike? Is there a brand by the name of Mike?
Ma'am, this is Nike, and sometimes you have them little other name things. Yes, I them same one. You can't lock up the things.
Hold on, just not so fast, all right? Let me have a look at these properly. All right, you know that these goods are not authentic, they're counterfeit.
Oh, you mean say they're not authentic?
Miss, a Puma is different from a cat. No, ma'am.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss,
There
you buy
is
them
no
little
such
things there?
brand as Mike.
Miss, me they come to Jamaica, come help out the little people them down at the school, and me they carry me things them. So what you want me to do? Me go pay the $500. Oh, she
Not
wants
at all.
$1,500. Sorry. Let me go pay me $1,500.
All right, before you go up any more in the cost, let us discuss the authenticity of this. This is not original. So what is going to happen now is that you are in breach of the Customs Act and you did not declare it on the form.
Oh, what is for me?
So
poor
you are
Jesus,
in
when me
breach
come
of
to Jamaica
Section
for?
209 of the Customs Act. Let me tell you what the procedure is. You'll have to pay...
Intellectual
Oh my
property right. Intellectual property right is the general term for the assignment of property rights through patents, copyrights, and trademarks. These property rights allow the holder to exercise a monopoly on the use of the item for a specified period. The protection of intellectual property rights is important to 1. Acknowledge and appreciate the creative expression of the human imagination. 2. empower creative persons to earn an equitable remuneration from the use of their talents, and 3, encourage investment in further innovation and new creations which in turn benefit the general society. Persons are not allowed to import items that are not authentic but bear the image or likeness of the original. Counterfeit medication can prove harmful to persons who ingest them and can cost the right holders millions of dollars. The proceeds from the sale of counterfeit goods are also often used to fund illegal activities.
Miss, me never know them as something.
All right, so you can have the
husband packing.
You can have the other items, but
I know me pack the barrel.
But we'll have to seize the counterfeit goods. Miss, let me tell you, be in the know. If you are unsure when you're importing items, please call or go on our website www.jacustoms.gov.jm. Please contact us. We'll be more than happy to give you the correct information.
All right. Next time we know. Me get a blind, miss?
What is that?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Put your hands together for the Montego Bay team from the Jamaica Customs Agency. They gave you some of what we go through on a daily basis. Now, we have another question from cyberspace, a very easy question. It's coming from Avram Magnib. He's asking, is it $500 per trip or per year? So Avram Magnib, the $500 is per trip. Each time you travel, you are entitled to a US $500 allowance or its equivalent. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we have some giveaways, so I have some questions for you. You never wrote down your questions from the presentation. All right, so help me now, Mr. Mackenzie and Mr. Beckford. Help me. We have to look at the first hand, or better yet, the first person to reach up here to answer a question. Better than go so? But how am I going to know if they better than? It's a St. Mary what? It's a St. Mary style, better than go so. All right, so they say better we go so. All right. So the first hand to go up after the question, I'll try to, you need to help me to try to, all right, and I have persons at the back to assist. All right. So this was from Mr. Kingsley Henry's presentation, and he's and the question, what are the 3 main functions of customs? That lady at the back, her hand went up. Come, okay. Deputy Commissioner, please make yourself available, Mr. Nicely, to make a presentation. Yes, Ismiata. Trade facilitation, she said. Border control and what? Revenue collection. You're sure it's revenue collection? We collect revenue? But no, sir. We collect revenue? You're not sure? What is the revenue where we collect? That she's correct. She's indeed correct. Put your hands together. Mr. Nicely is coming. Mr. Lowe, please make yourself ready. All right. She gets a nice white basket to match her outfit. Not true. Black and white, man, everything. She was destined to win that one. All right, one more question. Name 3 areas or 3 locations where you can find... That hand went up first. All right, come on, answer the question. I haven't finished. She put up her hand. So let me hear if she answered the question correctly. School's challenge quiz. Yeah, if a school challenge quiz, and if you put answer press before, they don't complete the answer. The question. Go ahead. Norman Manley International Airport. Could we get a mic for Donald Sangsters? And any wharf. All right. So is she correct? I want to know which airport named Donald Sangsters. Which airport named Donald Sangsters? The one located in St. James. What's the address? So, right, the Donald Sangster International Airport, the Norman Manley International Airport, and any seaport, right? So she is correct, and she gets a gift. Mr. Lowe, please come, sir, and make this presentation. What's the question? Name 3 areas or locations where you can find customs officers performing their functions. All right, so giving away this basket. Anybody who can give me 3 famous persons who came from St. Mary? That lady in the red, her hand went up first. 3 famous persons, world renowned. Use the mic. Where's the mic?
Olivia Samuels. Olivia Samuels. Olivia. Oliver Samuels, Lisa Anna, and James Bond.
Well, sister, you have to get something. You have to get something. Bring her one of the bags. We asked Mr. Albert Anderson, the Senior Director in charge of the Contraband Enforcement Team, to make this presentation. Stand here, Albert, in the middle. Boy, St. Mary people, them not easy at all. I don't wrong your sister. That's right. All right, so these questions come up, and it's someone from the disability. Anybody care? This question for someone from the disability group or the disabled group, right? Only they can answer. All right, so what is the basic processing fee for commercial shipments being imported through the couriers? What's the basic processing fee? I see a gentleman with his hand up. Mrs. Groves, would you like to? Go ahead. Who's not there? Okay. 5,000? You sure? Sure. Oh, boy, talk about sure. He is sure. All right. Thank you, sir. We're going to be asking Antoinette Whiteley-Scott to make this presentation to the of this lovely basket. Could you go to him? What's your name, sir? Is your wife that beside you? Me know say you don't know her, and she just look on your friend and get the basket. And I smile. So watch her. She just watch her and she just look on your friend and get the basket. She just smile. All right. All right, so another question. Name 2 requirements needed to clear any shipment. Jesus. Me can't. Somebody choose. I can't see. Let me see if there's any there's a child among the lot. Come, sir. Oh, Lord, yes, come. Let the child come.
ID and tearing.
What name ID? Give me an example of an ID.
Passport.
You sure? You have passport?
No.
I know St. Mary you come from. He is correct indeed. He is correct. And Tashana, please come and make a present. Andre. And our final question. How many more we have to give away? Final. What is the value set for items that customs will not charge you duties? What's the value? All right, come, sir. No, but where you go? You say you not come up here. You prefer to put up here and go back, go sit down. You not get the prize. Now you did say. No, this is St. Mary's style. All right, what's the answer?
US, sir. Yes, sir.
US are 50 pound.
50 US.
What about the pound? He is correct. Mr. Andre Williams, manager for the Information Management Unit, is coming to make the presentation. Turn the bag. Yes, him put on him phone beside me. The plan for take it, but remember the parish that I'm in. I say you know you rub up on the man too much. Just run and get the basket. Come, I could give you something. I know why you know him not gonna give nothing and then you go dead tonight. Come, Mr. Carter, director. Mr. Carter is coming to make a presentation to her. Nice. One more person from the Disabled Society. All right, and then we have one more. Any other child? Any other child in there? All right, the first child to reach up here. Go sit down. All right, come. Where are you from?
St. Mary.
We're in St. Mary.
Boscobel.
Boscobel. What is the name of your member of parliament?
Dr. Morris Guy.
Dr. Morris Guy, I know the MP for Boscobel. No. I know him. He are not the one. He are not the one. Any other child? Who is it? Where are you from?
Arakabesa.
Arakabesa. What is the name of your MP?
The Honorable Robert Montague.
Robert. And a Robert Montague name. Try remember.
The Most Honorable Bobby Montague.
The Most Honorable Bobby Montague. I am same one. Come. You're not triplet? Lord Jesus. The trio, no? So you born first? You born last? You're taller than the rest. Triplets, oh my God. Come, it's the first me I say a triplet in St. Mary. Nice. So the trio go the same school. Which school you attend?
St. Mary High.
St. Mary High. How old are you?
12.
You're 12 too? We have to give them something, not true? All right, Tashani, you have to find something for the triplets and for Mr. Mon. Which question you come to answer? Come here. Him is a part of the crew? The crew? Kate Bertram, Mrs. Bertram, our Senior Director in charge of Finance and Administration, is coming to... No, Bobby, I forget him back, you know. Make them go there and fish here. Give them 2 and give Bobby 1. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Give yourselves a big round of applause. You have been a very good St. Mary. No, go. Remember, we have refreshment. Come, Miss LaDonna Manning. She is the Director for Public Relations and Customer Services. She's coming now to move the vote of thanks. And then, okay. Oh, yes. But before she comes, Just reminding persons that we have brochures on the incentives for the productive sector. If you want a copy, raise your hand. We have Mrs. Alicia Rose Solomon. She can get copies to you. So raise your hand if you need copies of the brochures on incentives for the productive sector. Miss Manning. Calling Lloyd McEwen, make your way here.
Wow. This has been an awesome, awesome, awesome engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of a riveting, exciting, informative, and interactive Customs Meets the Community engagement right here in the parish of St. Mary. On behalf of the Commissioner of Customs, Mrs. Velma Ricketts Walker, I express sincere gratitude to everyone who participated in today's event. First, I give honor and thanks to God for allowing us to be here today and to undertake this initiative. People of St. Mary, you came from the nook and cranny of the parish. You came from Louis Store, from Esher Gully, from Ranch, from Nashville, from Harmony Hall, from Rock River, from Mile Gully, from Richmond, and the Lyndon Housing Scheme, among others. Thank you. Castleton as well. Give yourselves a warm round of applause, man. You came out in your numbers. Special thanks to Councillor Jermaine Smiley of the Port Maria Division, representing His Worship, the Mayor, Councillor Richard Crary, Dr. Maurice Guy, Member of Parliament for St. Mary Central, the Very Reverend Canon Charles Mandison, President of the St. Mary's Ministers Fraternal. Thank you for your participation. To the Reverend Shawin Reynolds, SDC Parish Manager for St. Mary, thanks to you and your team for your technical and administrative support and for leading the mobilization drive. Special thanks to all our invited guests, including the CEO of the St. Mary Municipal Corporation, Ms. Ethelyn Douglas, and Mr. Frederick Young of the St. Mary Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. Representatives from the various public and private sector entities, business entities, schools and churches within the parish, community-based organizations, the police, our political representatives, and persons with disabilities from Portland as well. Persons from Portland, could you stand please or raise your hand? They actually did come in from Portland as well. So we have to give them a round of applause. It was our pleasure having you here today, and to our sign language interpreter, Mrs. Stephanie McIntyre Groves, big up. Our presenters and resource persons, thank you. To our various performers, such as the Islington Culture Club, the Jamaica Customs Agency Choir and Drama Group, we thoroughly enjoyed your pieces. Also, our in-house DJ, Kemoy 5, also known as Flabber, you kept our patrons thoroughly entertained before the start of the event, and we thank you for that. To the always reliable JIS team, hoot hoot, I need to see a show of hands. Yes, always reliable JIS team, and the RGR Outside Broadcast team, the Wave 97 FM team. We appreciate that you were able to take our message to our audience throughout the length and breadth of St. Mary, Jamaica, and indeed the diaspora, both on air and online. To the St. Mary's Anglican Church administrators, thanks for allowing us to use this venue to host this event, and to Oral Walters, our resident decorator, for adding a stunning touch of finesse to this auditorium. To our caterer, thank you so much. Our senior management team, could you stand please, of Jamaica Customs Agency. All of the senior managers stand, our managers as well. Supervisors, please stand. To our senior management team and the staff from our various locations, Montego Bay, Portland, Kingston, thank you. You made the journey down, and it was an awesome, awesome day today. Customs Meets the Community team, wherever you are, stand and take a bow. Just raise your hand. My team members in the coral shirt. To the very hard working and committed Customs meets the community team. Thumbs up. Once again, we have done it, of course, with the help of Sean. We continue to leave footprints on our journey across the various parishes as we seek to inform, educate, and build awareness. Once more, thanks to everyone for being here today. Safe journey, and God bless you all. Before you go...
Thank you so much, LaDonna. Yes. We will stand to the singing of the national anthem for us to...
I'm waiting for complete silence. Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to cherish. Give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge sent us, Heavenly Father, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love.
Thank you, St. Mary. Walk good, be blessed. Thank you for having us.